Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Sovereign immunity. That's how the government steals your money. That's how they take away your business, your life. They backdoor nationalize your existence through sovereign immunity. But where do they concoct it? All these foundations. Do foundations have sovereign immunity? Let's start with the Clinton Foundation, that crime organization. Then Soros, and then the creepy Rockefeller. I said creepy Rockefeller Foundation. Get my lawyer on the phone. 380 pounds of free legal advice. Wait, it's 4. He's probably drunk. Call him first thing in the morning, Squirrel. We sue everybody. That and more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. The CPS budget is up for a vote today. The district says it will not be able to make payroll in September if the budget does not pass, and union leadership is fighting against it. The Chicago Sun-Times reporting that a key member of the Chicago Police Oversight Body is urging the City Council to postpone the search for a permanent replacement for retired Police Superintendent Larry Snelling until after the mayoral election. In a letter to City Council members Wednesday, Anthony Driver asked that the November 12 deadline for the commission to complete a nationwide search be put off until spring. Kentucky Republican Rand Paul says he'll move to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. Here's reporter Monica Alba.
Senator Paul, who's accused Fauci of what he calls a COVID cover-up, saying his committee will vote next week on whether Fauci violated the law.
If that resolution passes our committee, which it will, that it could simply be referred directly to the Department of Justice.
Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times yesterday. Sox and Cubs with matinees today. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. And you can join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report. The major averages staging a comeback from yesterday's brutal sell-off, with tech and chips leading the rebound. The tech-heavy NASDAQ snapping a 6-session losing streak. The major averages have turned positive for the week. The Magnificent 7 big-cap tech stocks were mixed. Meta stock tumbling nearly 8%. The social media giant's earnings miss, adding to worries about its ability to recoup AI investments. However, it was a different story for Microsoft, its stock jumping over 15% after the software giant delivered a robust earnings report. After the bell, Apple and Amazon will be delivering earnings. The Dow winners, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, and Caterpillar. The Dow decliners, Travelers, Johnson & Johnson, and Salesforce. The Dow rising 614 points, the NASDAQ higher by 679, S&P 500 up 121. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Gas prices in Chicago are riding like a roller coaster. They go up, they come down. Well, they come down a little bit, but then they go back up again. AM 560 wants to help ease your pain at the pump. Listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 for the lowest gas prices around Chicagoland. And if you see a low gas price, let us know. Just text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location, and we'll share it right here on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're looking for a place to grow spiritually in the middle of a busy life, InTouch.org is designed for you. Explore practical, biblical teaching from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, free study guides, and messages that speak to real-life challenges. Whether you're searching for direction, comfort, or a deeper understanding of God's Word, you'll find tools to help you take the next step. Discover resources that meet you right where you are at intouch.org.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson.
On AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-978-1515. That's 800-978-1515.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
No troubles on the outbound Edens, the Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 48 minutes. And the outbound Eisenhower, 1 hour, post office to 390. Accident at Irving Park blocking the right lane. Stevenson, 55 out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. From DuSable Lakeshore Drive, crash inbound side of the Rhine at Roosevelt. 18 minutes in, that's blocking the right lane, by the way, 30 going out. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way. Southbound Tri-State crash just cleared at I-80, but another at Thornton Quarry. That is in the right lane. Also eastbound Reagan, car fire at Midwest Road has been cleared, and you will see tie-ups going south on 355. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 69. On Friday, there will be sunshine, followed by increasing clouds, along with periods of rain and a thunderstorm arriving late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. Friday night will be humid with periods of rain, potentially heavy at times, and a chance of a thunderstorm. Keep an eye out for flash flooding with a low of 68. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Don't worry. Florida will do it.
And when the band plays,
Florida 18 is going to go after that pickle-faced piece of garbage, dumb fraud, as the rest of the media props him up. But this is not news to anybody who remembers. You don't have to remember William Randolph Hearst, although it helps. He who controls information controls opinion. That's what this is. I mean, after all, Time Magazine, 4 times they had Adolf Hitler on. One of them was the Man of the Year before Pearl Harbor. 4 times back to 1931. See, back then he was like what these commies are today. Whether it's Mandamni. Where was the other one? We got so many squares. We got the new one. She Loved Me Hong Time. The Korean commie in Wisconsin, way up to the lead. Peculiar looking broad. Looks like a fish. Got an 8 head, not a 4 head. And it catches on because the media promotes it like they promoted pickle-faced scum. $12 million he made during COVID, just during COVID. All kinds of nonsense awards, like Adolf Hitler, Man of the Year. Another fascist Nazi, like the Fourth Reich that we face today. But there's a difference now today. You see, we, the country of the rule of law, have wonderful states. Wonderful, good states that will always do the heavy lifting.
So you announced yesterday that there is a investigation right now into Fauci's actions. What happens next?
That's right. We'll be going through the record we have. We're going to send a plane up to D.C. and get any file they're willing to share with us. Look forward to working with Senator Rand Paul. I know he's eager to find accountability. And then we'll have subpoenas out likely as early as next week, looking into what Dr. Fauci knew, when he knew it, all of the statements and directives he made. You know, we know he's been out there bragging about how he told New York officials to lock down schools, encourage this type of behavior. People listened to him. They were duped by him. And then we're going to look at, his side business dealings, what financial gain he made throughout this deception.
Now, that's great to go after him criminally. But after all, it was always about money. Why does Barack Obama live in mansions? You could argue he was always a communist and a CIA operative from a very young age when he was Lolo Sotoro's stepson. Or you could just say he's a traitor for the same reason Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, for the same reason the Daily Scum, for money. So how do you take it away? We the people take it away. You see, RICO cuts both ways. You know RICO. I don't mean my buddy I traded with at the Merc, who I love to death, called Captain KV. I'm talking about the RICO Act. See, what they do is they go after anybody, even related. If money touches money and hand touches hand, you're part of a RICO Act. Well, why can't we go after all of these organizations? I don't mean just the big ones with the real Nazi. The son, I wish I was making this up, Squirrel, but I'm not. The son of the flamethrower factory. His father was the managing partner of the flamethrower factory of the Third Reich. Klaus Schwab is his son. This bald scumbag. World Economic Forum, also a foundation. Break it apart. Take its money. Private planes. Everything.
Who will really command the fourth industrial revolution and its technology like artificial intelligence?
What's your sense of...
My Uncle Mikey Squirrel, I guarantee you, after he stormed the beaches of Normandy, he not only killed his uncle, he probably knocked up his aunt.
Who's best placed at this time to lead the world into the fourth industrial revolution? Because you pretty much created this term. We're seeing the kind of technological strides that China has made with Huawei, with the 5G technology. Do you believe...
Wait, this is 2016. This is how they laid it out. This is not just a seditious conspiracy. This is, in fact, organized crime. All of it. Organized mafia. Hit them with the civil RICO. All we need is a good AG, good lawyers, good groups of us, a class action suit by every American citizen victimized against every foundation that worked and collaborated. And we'll get down to the Duchess of Chafington, that pig, and that vestibule of corruption called the Clinton Foundation, too.
That this could potentially be China's time once again?
We should make here again let's say a differentiation. On the one hand, we have state capitalism. On the other hand, we have shareholder or private capitalism. So it's a clash between two systems.
It's not a clash, you Nazi pig, you scum. We are America. We have private property rights. Everywhere else, you are a slave. Now, it took some very strategic planting, all at the World Economic Forum. Everybody who participated in the pandemic, who worked and profited from the trillions and trillions of dollars that have been missing since Barack Obama was late on his car payment. Oh, yes, Will. That's when it all started. It didn't start when they released it to steal an election. It started when Barack Obama first secured the nomination. 2019, at the the Milken Health Foundation. Whoever heard of that? It's another vestibule of bribery and fraud. And it should be mentioned in the civil RICO case. 2019,
why don't we blow the system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some way that we grow vaccines mostly in eggs, the way we did in 1947.
In order to make the transition from getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be, beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works. And then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
There might be a need or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden.
Now, this side saddle sissy is an upper echelon member of the Milken Foundation. And you're listening to the conspiracy, the open dialogue. His name is Bright. He's not too bright. He's kind of dim. And he rides a horse side saddle.
Into bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere. We could get the RNA sequence from that, beam it to a number of regional centers, if not local, if not even in your home at some point, and print those vaccines on a patch and self-administer.
Another member of the Milken Health Foundation in panties, and another defendant. You know who else makes the defendant list? All the propagandists, all of the frauds that help sell it, and to this day, run cover.
Bernie Moreno's target in that hearing today was a man who has done more in service to this country and the world than every senator in that room and the entire current United States Senate combined.
Larry O'Donnell, also a defendant in the civil RICO case. Get my lawyer on the phone. You see, Squirrel, I remember way back, Fauci, that pickle-faced scum. Not just 76 when he released the vaccine scandal. He was part of NIH, but he didn't run it. But in 94, there was a doctor out there, and he was discounted. His name is Wilner, Dr. Wilner. And he was outraged, number one, because he's a doctor of conscience, but because he witnessed the mass murder of homosexuals by the American government with the reaction to AIDS. He was a very interesting guy. And in this clip, he says, like pre-World War II and Hitler, what he was talking about is what I talked about. How the American government, Republicans and Democrats, fluffed up the Third Reich before Pearl Harbor. See, they had supporters here. They're the same commie scum running New York, Hong, Love Me Long Time, and the rest of these commie bastards that are so-called the rise of the Fourth Reich. What are they called, Squirrel? The Democrat socialists of your ass? Because America doesn't have any socialists. Here's Dr. Wilner, 1994.
Talking about probably the most horrible scandal and scam ever perpetrated, not only in the name of science, but in humanity and in all history. Today is December 7th, and I was 12 years old when the attack on Pearl Harbor came, and I remember World War II very well. And it's a very significant day today because I see an incredible parallel between what is going on in the so-called AIDS epidemic and what happened in the years preceding and resulting in World War II.
Now, do you know why that's very important? He is identifying Fauci and the NIH and the American government as the Fourth Reich in 94. He is identifying the fascism and the players that are willing to use and abuse not just control money. Use and abuse us, the citizens. We are their fodder in the way the Germans and the Jews were the fodder for Hitler.
Great lie of Hitler. It's amazing. I think he would envy the job being done by members of the National Institutes of Health and even the media, especially in this country. And I will put the lie to the individuals of the NIH, particularly Gallo and Fauci and Hazeltine and Essex and the rest of these scoundrels of the worst order. Criminals guilty of genocide, without a doubt. I invite them to take me to court. I wish Burroughs Wellcome would take me to court because they have been putting out a killer drug knowingly. Because in a court of law, I would have the opportunity to provide the absolute proof and evidence, as I have in my book, Deadly Deception. Now, I'm not alone in what I'm doing here today. How does the press escape such obvious truths? Why would the finest virologist in the world, the most noted virologist, member of our National Academy of Sciences, Peter Duesberg, why would he put his entire career on the line? What did he have to gain? He's already lost his laboratory and his funding. They can't take away his professorship because he's tenured.
They did the same thing to anybody who fought the fraud since the time Fauci got his job at the NIH in 1968. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Attention all listeners, financial planners, CPA, and divorce attorneys. In 2021, there were over 420,000 licensed loan originators. Today, that number is down to 93,000. That's a reduction of over 75% of licensed loan officers within the past 4 years. If you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender who's still in business. While mortgage companies have been closing and hundreds of thousands of loan officers have left the business since 2021, Team Hochberg has expanded and is stronger than ever and would love to earn your business. Let's review. Hundreds of mortgage companies have closed down and over 327,000 loan officers exited the mortgage business, while Team Hochberg has expanded and is stronger than ever. If you'd like to work with experienced mortgage professionals who'll appreciate your business, call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
AM 560.
The Answer.
2017. Gates Foundation. Ooh, that's going to be a juicy one. And then, Squirrel, when you're posing your case for the Civil RICO case, you could tie in all of the contracts that Bill Gates, Gates Foundation, all of the money that went to politicians from the time Barack Obama couldn't make the car payment on the ghetto Bentley. You bust-out scum!
To cause, say, 10 million excess deaths. An epidemic, either naturally caused or intentionally caused, is the most likely thing to cause, say, 10 million excess deaths.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. There will be a surprise.
There it is! Gates Foundation. Another liaison of the architect of the plandemic, the bioweapon, financed by the NIH, released by who? All of them. All of them. That's who. Bernie Moreno knows so.
Senator Moreno, why do you suspect Fauci's pleading the fifth after testifying 200+ times before?
Because he's a piece of
Yes! Yes, he is. There's some consternation over the language. I think it's exactly appropriate. Exactly appropriate. The idea that we let these scoundrels scum, the Fourth Reich, these frauds, not only get bribed directly, indirectly, and steal our time, of which we can never get back. There is no compensation that can ever equal the years that we suffered under this fracking moron.
No, the little expression, time is money. As one computer said, if you're
on what? Hey, stupid! One what? He's trying to say commuter squirrel. But you know why? The dementia is eating his brain like Pritzker eats a cream puff.
No, the little expression, time is money. As one computer said, if you're on the train and they say Portal Bridge, you know you better make other plans.
What?
Come on, man.
Stupid bastard. Glenn, Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I won't bring it up again, but I tell you what, yesterday when you played that clip, I had chills and almost a tear in my eye. I knew that people got Guillain-Barré from the swine flu injection. I had no idea that there was never even a case, and I heard that I didn't think Gerald Ford really didn't do anything, but he sounded like a scoundrel with that.
He's another on the take.
All that.
On the take. Do you know why, Glenn? The Rockefeller Foundation started it all. Thank you for the call. That's right. Since that old codger was handing out dimes, that thieving rat organization. Squirrel, why can't I hit the button? I hit the button, nothing happens. All right, my system shut down. Let's go to Glenn in Orlando.
Shaun, does your life have more ups and downs than an Anthony Fauci polygraph exam?
Baby, I always run hot, baby. I'm pretty much the same thing. And I take, you know what? I almost like the bad news better than the good. You know that? Put mustard on it and eat it. I love the bad news. But go ahead.
No, I think Anthony Fauci is the worst human being I've ever seen in my lifetime. And we need justice. He just can't go walking away in the sunset. We need justice there.
Oh, he's not going to go. Listen, this Florida AG, he tells a story. The clip was long. He had his first kid when all of it was kicking in. And they tried to put a mask on his wife while she was giving labor. He went crazy. Now he's the AG of Florida. You think he's going to go away? You think he's going to go away as he watched what they did to his wife? As they watched him keep his parents out of the hospital? For what? So that this pig could get bribed? He's not going to take it easy. He's a man. He's not some sissy fracking Democrat. Boy, I wish I had that clip of the guy singing, "Give me the vaccine." Here is who orchestrated and has been orchestrating for over 100 years the backdoor nationalization of the American health care system and the policies that put money right back into pockets of these rat Rockefellers.
Around the same time that John D. Rockefeller seized U.S. media, he also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. Medicines used for thousands of years were suddenly classified as alternative, while the new, petroleum-based, highly addictive, and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. After buying a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war for Adolf Hitler, Rockefeller leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities unscientific quackery. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association and began offering massive grants to top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught. Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, and diet was erased from most medical textbooks. Doctors and professors who objected to Rockefeller's plan were crucified by the media, removed from the AMA, and stripped of their license to teach and practice medicine. Those who dared to speak out were arrested and jailed. When evidence began to emerge that petroleum-based medicines were causing cancer, Mr. Rockefeller founded the American Cancer Society, through which he suppressed that information.
All of them. Hit them all. The Civil RICO Act. And never forget, Squirrel, who sat on the board of the Rockefeller Sissy Foundation?
I was interested. I was on the board of Rockefeller.
What?
So that starts Rockefeller. It's university formed by John D. Rockefeller to sort of give back to the community. It's east side of Manhattan, except it was old. It was sort of old-fashioned. They were talking about medicine, and medicine by itself was again subject to the ideas of science. They were trying to use science to find cures for disease. And I said, no, we need to do something different. We need to start interdisciplinary work. In most,
How did a schmuck like you get on the board of Rockefeller? What year was that?
Because he brought him whores and hookers and little boys. That's Jeffrey Epstein. Somebody get Tom Pritzker on the phone. Ask him what he's talking about. How about that fat slob, Reid Hoffman? Ooh, let's mention those two, too. Pritzker's got a foundation. Reid Hoffman's got big fat ass. A lot of chafing. Stinks like a billy goat. Mention him, too. 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. The Chicago Public Schools budget is up for a vote today. The district says it will not be able to make payroll in September if the budget does not pass, and union leadership is fighting against that budget. The U.S. has launched another round of airstrikes on Iran in response to this week's Iranian attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. Thousands of firefighters are in Oregon, battling the 4 largest wildfires in the United States. 30 large fires, including several in central Oregon. Mayor Brandon Johnson is downplaying concerns about the sudden departure of the city's acting chief financial officer after only 8 months on the job.
The work doesn't stop because one individual moves on, right? If that was the case, government would never would never be a continuum. People move on all the time, but here's the thing that's most steady. I'm still here.
Several city council members warn the timing will complicate an already challenging budget system. The news is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Next news at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the afternoon commute with Jill Urchak.
There are no problems going out on the Edens. Montrose to Lake Cook Road, not a delay. The Kennedy, 50 minutes, though. Out to O'Hare from the Chamber Interchange. It is a bit tight in the express lane, Chicago to Costner. Outbound Eisenhower, also 1 hour. Post Office to 390. Stevenson, 1 hour. DuSable Lakeshore Drive out to 355. And the inbound Ryan at Roosevelt. There's an accident in the right lane, 20 minutes going in. Outbound trip, a half hour. Those express lanes slowing down 47th to Marquette. Outbound 57, an accident reported at 159th. Expect to be jammed up on DuSable Lakeshore Drive either way. The Tri-State is busy both directions. A few accidents pulled off to the side, so you're getting through those. Jane Adams is clear. Eastbound Reagan tightened to Midwest Road from an earlier accident. Southbound 355 also snug in westbound 94. Overturned car blocking 2 of the right lanes at Brown Road. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 69. On Friday, expect sun followed by clouds with periods of rain and a thunderstorm late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
This is Seth Leibson for townhall.com. It's been attributed to George Carlin that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come with a smile. Ronald Reagan said it will come in the name of liberalism. But what of communism? Recently, Shannon Bream of Fox News interviewed the co-chair of the Democratic Socialists of America, Megan Romer. Last weekend, the New York Times gave her a glowing profile. She comes off friendly, affable, and smiley. What elite media never reports is Miss Romer is a proud member of the Red Star Caucus. The Red Star Caucus defines itself as a Marxist-Leninist caucus in the DSA. The new DSA platform, which the DSA proudly promotes and admits to, ends not just incarceration of criminals, but our entire constitutional structure. As we consider the bloody history of communism, we should recall the words of the great writer Hilaire Belloc, talking about those watching from beyond the grave. He reminds us, quote, "We are watched by large and awful faces from beyond, and on these faces there is no smile," close quote. This Marxist DSA threat is nothing to smile about.
I'm Ben Barzita.
And I'm Matt Nadeau, founding partners of Barzita and Nadeau Wealth Management. And after more than a decade on the air, we're excited to be back with our brand new show, Money Hour Radio.
Tune in every Saturday at 1 p.m. on AM 560 as we break down retirement planning, market trends, tax reduction strategies, and our Advance and Protect investment approach.
It's sophisticated planning, independent analysis, and trusted guidance, backed by over 40 years of combined experience.
Join us for Money Hour Radio, Saturdays at 1 p.m. on AM 560.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling your firearms? Get top dollar from national collectors. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
And all the people who keep asking, what are we going to do about it? Well, who's running cover? Who's making certain Todd Blanche doesn't get sworn in? Who could it be?
A vote tomorrow to advance President Trump's nominee for Attorney General has been called off as the senior senator from Texas refuses to vote yes. Republican Senator John Cornyn, now a lame duck, but he still holds a critical vote on the Senate Judiciary Committee. He demanded assurances from the DOJ before signing off on Todd Blanche as Attorney General, but Cornyn says he has not received those assurances. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live with the latest developments. Amelia.
This is the part that I like. Assurances. Now, his cover story is the assurances that the Trump administration will not set up any money for the victims of the government coup d'etat called January 6th. That's what he says. But I couldn't help but remember what his real soiree was, where he had the possibility of grabbing a tremendous amount of money. Now, it's true he had a dark pack in Texas that seems to have misappropriated $8.5 million. But that's small money when you consider his vote that was very important for the Ukraine and all the hundreds of billions.
Here are the undeniable facts. There are 25 to 30 U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. According to the U.S. government, these biolabs are conducting research on dangerous pathogens. Ukraine is in an active war zone with widespread bombing, artillery, and shelling, and these facilities even in the best of circumstances, could easily be compromised and release these deadly pathogens.
You know what else, Tulsi? Who I love to death. It could be that they don't even exist. How do we know? Who are you going to believe? A liar? Could be just a money laundering scheme. I mean, has anybody really seen them? I don't believe a word that comes out of the former Soviet Union. Not a word. And you know something else, Squirrel? I don't believe a word of never-Trumper frauds who want to make certain not only doesn't the money get found, but that the SAVE Act doesn't get passed.
I don't understand the rationale. I think it's basically we're over-promising and we're not going to be able to deliver on that promise because we don't have the votes to pass it, no matter how long we stay, and we're not going to change the filibuster. So, but somehow.
Why aren't you? Hey, you stupid. Why aren't you? Am I the only one that remembers the fracking Democrats?
Makes a big difference.
That would take 2/3 in the Senate. You think the Democrats can get 2/3 in the Senate?
No, it doesn't get 2/3. No, it doesn't. I mean, 60 votes is the Senate now, but if we win 50 plus 1 in the Senate, 50 plus the vice president, we can overturn the 60-vote rule.
The filibuster.
The filibuster, and pass it with a 51-vote margin. And
they did, along with $4 trillion. Where was Cornyn then? Huh, dummy?
Heather, Senator John Cornyn gave the DOJ a deadline of 4 p.m. on the East Coast to adhere with his demands in writing ahead of tomorrow's committee vote. Well, that deadline came and went, and the vote is now delayed. Todd.
Throw his ass out, this whole lame duck bulldung. George in Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, what do you think about Fauci going on Dancing with the Stars to win back some of his detractors?
I would like to see the yard gnome spun around by, what's her name, Julia Roberts. He's up to exactly the right area he should be on her. Tramp.
We are ashamed that you are our senator in Texas. Just wondering why we keep voting to send our money to Ukraine.
These are the people that made certain Cornyn is a lame duck. Why is he still... Throw him out.
Well, because I think it's in our national security interest to help them defend themselves. I may not get it in here.
What do you mean we need a senator? Why? Where's Mitch McConnell? Where in the world is Mitch McConnell? Where is he? Is he in rehab? Is he busy? Is he taking a dirt nap and nobody knows? Is he on ice? We don't need senator. The rules are there are no rules with these never-Trumpers.
Americans are starving right now, and you guys are sending our tax money to Ukraine. We have our own problems to deal with.
You want a World War III or grab you over here to this farm?
Oh, there it is. World War III. So you're going to stop World War III by sending money to Ukraine the whole time. Cornyn had information and documentation that knows exactly how it started. From the Biden administration and that slob Victoria Nuland, all the way to when Joe Biden blew the pipeline. Not the Kamala Harris way.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Have you heard a Republican talk about that? A sitting Republican in the Senate? A sitting Republican who's a never-Trumper? The sitting Republican that voted for all the billions that are missing in Ukraine. Any more then you think they're going to come to the rescue and do the right thing? They're step and fetch. They like the sidecars. They like the PAC money. Just like Cornyn.
Blanche, who was President Trump's former personal lawyer, has led the Justice Department on an acting basis since April. The back and forth stems from a $1.8 billion settlement agreement that the DOJ, under Blanche, reached in Trump's lawsuit accusing the IRS of improperly releasing his tax returns. Cornyn wants assurances that a proposed $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund is dead and that the settlement won't prevent future IRS audits of Trump, his family, or his businesses.
How about you, Cornyn, and your PAC and your campaign coffer? Can we get an audit of that, crook? I could smell him a mile away, Squirrel. A mile away. They weren't smart, like the Clintons. See, the Clintons ran all their scams through a foundation.
It is an FBI timeline that shows the steel curtain that FBI agents ran into in 2016 and 17 when they had predicated criminal investigations looking at possible pay-to-play bribery, pay-to-play corruption, where Hillary Clinton would make decisions as Secretary of State on behalf of people who made big donations to her family foundation. 3 separate FBI offices, all run by career officials, trying to investigate and get to the bottom of whether crimes are committed, and they get the Heisman. They get a stiff arm up and down the Justice Department. In fact, here's one of the great lines in the timeline. Remember when Donald Trump was out there saying lock her up? Remember, he said there's good reason to lock her up, Hillary Clinton. Well, Sally Yates, the Deputy Attorney General for Barack Obama, was telling the FBI agents who were trying to do that, trying to investigate whether she should be locked up for public corruption, she said, shut it down. She instructed the agents to close down a lawful investigation of Hillary Clinton.
The Clinton Foundation made a lot of money during the years of corruption.
A few thoughts now as Hillary Clinton has retreated into hiding from the harsh media spotlight on the Clinton cartel's culture of corruption. And Mrs. Clinton's strategy is, of course, to pursue a bunker strategy, hide from even the left-wing media as she tries to run out the clock on these scandals, at least until Election Day, now just 75 days hence. The Democratic candidate continues to hide from the public as her scandals only worsen. She hasn't held a press conference since early last December, and her most recent rally a week ago in Cleveland. Mrs. Clinton instead on a fundraising blitz, all of which closed, of course, to the public and the press. I think these are signals of what you might expect from her if she were to be elected president. There are so many signals, aren't there? Hillary Clinton appears only to be granting audiences to those who pay, much like her time at the State Department after a bombshell report from the Associated Press revealed more than half of her non-government meetings were with donors to the Clinton Foundation. Trump slamming the Clinton cartel and Hillary's long-standing and energetic corruption, but Republican congressional leaders, you may have noticed, are nowhere to be found.
They don't want to destroy it. Just want to wet their beaks. That's how it runs. But that doesn't stop us from filing a civil RICO case. We're the ones that are harmed from this corruption. They seem to enrich themselves, like Cornyn or Thune, also standing in the way of more than just the SAVE Act.
And we'll continue to listen to our colleagues to figure out what the path forward is. But all of us would love to see a solution for the Save America Act, to actually get some of that enacted into law, and the budget resolution.
Well, these were the same two Republican suck-ons. Did they fight for you to be free during the pandemic, during the restrictions? Did they come out and speak against the corruption that was there for all of us to see? All of us have been talking about it since the dimwit in diapers stole the election. 312-642-5600.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
We work a lifetime to build a legacy for our families, but the most enduring gift you can give them is the peace of mind you provide when they need it most. When you pre-plan your arrangements at Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, you replace the weight of uncertainty with the gift of clarity. Secure today's costs and protect your family from making emotional and financial decisions at the time of need. It's a final act of love they'll never forget. Visit CatholicCemeteryChicago.org or call 708-236-5400.
Whether you are old or young, no one likes to lose money. The market is at an all-time high. How much risk does your portfolio really have in it? Are you worried that you could lose your hard-earned money? Call TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights at 800-640-2256 for your free risk report. Call right now and we will include a full analysis of your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call TJ Stearns, a local and longtime sponsor on AM 560. Call 800-640-2256. Call now and tell him AM 560 sent you.
This is attorney Robert Nauman of Nauman & Associates.
Thank you, 560 listeners, for your continual phone calls to request our service in your estate planning matters. To share an example, a couple met with our team about an adult child that will need assistance after they both pass away. We created a trust with provisions that will protect that adult child and the rest of the family for years after they're gone. Give us a call when you're facing special circumstances with adult children. We'd love to help you protect your estate and your family. NALawGroup.com or 847-593-8777.
Is the IRS throwing high heat like bank levies and wage garnishments and tax liens? Play ball! Are you down to your last strike? Strike two! When the IRS brings in their closer, you don't bunt. You bring in a power hitter.
That ball is out of here!
At PJN Tax Solutions Group, we go to bat against the IRS. PJN Tax Solutions Group is a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. Don't let the IRS steal your paycheck, and don't let them tag your bank account out at home plate. This isn't Little League. This is your financial future. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, and a full count. Are you swinging alone, or are you going to call in a professional? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group now at 630-415-5296. Once again, 630-415-5296, or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
This is fascinating to me. Kid is shot on the south side. Nobody says a word. Nobody heard anything. They wake up in the morning, 17-year-old kid dead. Degenerate, low-life scumbag stealing mail in a building. Is chased by police and kills a guy on his way to work. Here's a video showing 4 masked gunmen ambushing an Auburn Grisham gas station. Did anybody think to just call Goldilocks at GoldilocksInc.com online or calling 708-889-5600? Did anybody think about it? If you mentioned my name, 3 months free monitoring. But in each one of these cases, somebody would have saw something. You got cameras all over your building. You'll see the kid get shot. You don't need shot spotter. You see the ridiculous moron stealing your mail. Can't get in the door with Goldilocks. Goldilocks can make an old home a smart home. They can take a building, an apartment building, secure it so the mail doesn't get stolen. Cameras all over the place to make sure kids don't get shot on your sidewalk. These Democrat prosecutors aren't going to do jack. You take it into your own hands. At least notify the coppers. If you live in a good neighborhood like mine, they'll come out and beat the hell out of somebody. Or at least you can wake up and do it yourself. The good news is, at Goldilocks Inc., they've been doing it for 40 years. The alarms go off, the people are notified, the good coppers are notified, and they come to your property. Whether it's a house, an apartment building, a warehouse, or a retail store, they can do it all. And if it's a warehouse, they can even supply the doors, make it secure so that scumbags don't come in, steal your mail and everything else. GoldilocksInc.com online or by calling 708-889-5600. Take advantage of 40 years. Family-owned business, employing 40 decent, wonderful Illinoisans. That's what Goldilocks is, and they want to secure your property no matter what it is. Big or small, Goldilocks is just right. When we get back, 312-642-5600, I'll take your calls and comments.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
During the War for Independence, General George Washington, the man we refer to today as the father of our country, led American troops through military defeat after defeat. And in the bitter winter of 1777, he wrote this somber note to a friend in Philadelphia. Quote, "You might have tracked our army from White Marsh to Valley Forge by the blood on their feet," end of quote. Many soldiers continued to march through the deep snows of Pennsylvania without shoes. Others suffered from disease, hunger, and freezing conditions. Nearly 2,000 of Washington's men died. Yet George Washington did not lose faith. Amid the hardship, loss, and uncertainty of Valley Forge, he turned to God in prayer. At a time when our nation once again faces division and uncertainty, may we follow Washington's example, kneeling humbly, praying faithfully, and asking God to guide the future of America.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
AM 560, The Answer.
So Squirrel just Let me know. We get the trolls like everybody else, but listen to me. Understand who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the weak, with the true face of greed. They're not interested in keeping their money. They're interested in taking yours. There's no such thing as socialism. They're just thieves who don't have the courage to rob you. They want the government to do it. These are the weak and the worthless in our society.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccine.
What an idiot. What a scum. What a disgrace to every man, woman, and child who wants to be free, who understood exactly. You think this simpleton knows the kind of corruption that Dr. Fauci partook in? Do you think he understands what a vaccine even is? That stupid son of a pig. Too bad they can't give him a vaccine against being a useless moron.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
People who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic.
Jim Cramer is a hack, pig, fraud. Every time he opens his fracking mouth, it's not just a lie, he's wrong. You put your money where that simpleton moron tells you to put your money, you'll definitely be a socialist. You'll be broke too.
For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death.
Never, squirrel. Pure blood. Never once. I had it and did the show and nobody knew. COVID. Put mustard on it and eat it, you weak bastards. Look at what everybody went through. All because of the weak, the simple, and the corrupt. And not a one of them showed up to look at the evidence over and over and over again. The unmitigated evidence of complete and utter corruption. It was there for anyone to see.
What were these individuals doing in the depth of the pandemic in November of 2020 when millions of Americans were suffering from COVID? What were they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Folkers was on your behalf soliciting and gathering information for a cash award. Let's look at it. We've got his email right here, right over my shoulder. Volker says, I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for Fauci. We need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in new ways to COVID? He sends this to multiple federal employees. What was the Dan David Award? Do you remember, Doc?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It was a $900,000 cash award.
Here's $50. Eat a banana and give me a fruit salad in 10 minutes, whore. You're just another whore. That's all you'll ever be. Tony, Riverside.
Hi, Shaun. You know, I wasn't going to get that thing anyway, but, you know, it really, people should have realized when they were forcing pregnant women to get the jab that something was up, because you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't do drugs, you can't take cold medicine, you can't eat certain foods, but here, take this chemical.
Do you know what the Rockefellers and the Gates have in common? They both practice, they believe in eugenics, which is population control.
Exactly. And the Ralph
that's what the Nazis...
were the ones we talked about that when they stopped the solariums at the hospital.
The Nazis and the modern day Fourth Reich are the same. They knew what they were doing. They didn't give a rip about pregnant women or anybody else. Thank you very much. That's why let's test all their blood. I don't think they got it. Jerry, Western Burbs.
Shaun, you know, yeah, we need to be pissed at these people. I'd like to see, you know, tall trees, not long ropes, short ropes.
No, we got to let them live forever. Ever. They live forever.
We can bitch and moan about this till we're blue in the face, but these guys committed a crime of commission, right? Everybody sat there and they said, we're forced to do this. You know, Hawaiian good luck sign to you, dude. You know, you're not forcing me to do shit. Excuse me, friend.
I got it, Jerry. Oh, squirrel's going to hang up on you. Every time you swear, he hangs up on you. That's the rules. Here's the thing you have to understand. That's why I started the show with a civil RICO case against the very foundations. They all hide the money, the bribery, and the profits and the money laundering through foundations. It's really not that complex. It just makes the old wise guys wish, hey, I knew about these foundations, but not every one of them hired Abe Pritzker.
USAID gave $5 million to Open Society Foundation Macedonia. $5 million, a direct grantee. With the help of then-President Barack Obama's U.S. ambassador to Macedonia, the U.S. government spent millions of taxpayer dollars to destabilize the democratically elected center-right government by colluding with...
That's how they run it. So hit the foundations that are recipients of the money. And by the way, go after anybody that worked there. Anybody. All these moron suck-ons that work for Fauci. They don't have immunity. They're the ones that were filing on his behalf for grants that were in some cases created so he could steal the money. Go after them too. Simple. Civil RICO. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
For over 40 years, the Heartland Institute has stood for the ideas that built this country. Free markets, limited government, and individual freedom. Now you're invited to celebrate that legacy in person. Join Heartland on Thursday, September 3rd, for their 42nd anniversary benefit dinner at the historic Palmer House Hilton in downtown Chicago, one of the city's most iconic addresses for over 150 years. This year's keynote speaker is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who has led Florida through 2 terms of record economic growth, making it one of the fastest growing states in the nation. The evening kicks off with a reception at 5, dinner at 6, an evening of great company, great conversation, and a shared belief in the principles that made America exceptional. Seats are limited, and they will go fast. Reserve yours today at benefit.heartland.org. That's benefit.heartland.org. The Heartland Institute's 42nd anniversary benefit dinner, September 3rd, Palmer House Hilton, Chicago. Don't just believe in freedom. Celebrate it.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Maybe you've thought about taking a cruise. Maybe you've even talked yourself out of it. But this is not just another vacation. This is the Gulf of America cruise. 7 days through the Caribbean with Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, Jennifer Horn, and a ship full of people who love this country. No packing and unpacking, no complicated planning, just great destinations, meaningful conversations, and a once-in-a-generation celebration of America's 250th. This November, be there. Text CRUISE to 94878 to book your cabin today.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
It's hard to deny the constant attack of negative emotions that flood us online. The fear, anxiety, worry, and confusion that come from the constant stream of news and social media can be overwhelming. There is a way to escape this never-ending cycle and find peace, hope, and joy in your daily life. Christianity.com, with a wide range of daily devotionals, biblical answers to life's toughest questions, and insightful Bible study articles from your favorite pastors and authors on current events and issues, Christianity.com provides a little heaven on earth. Go to Christianity.com now.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
My next guest is exactly who we need to talk to. You know, I'm lucky enough to talk to him over the years, and I always admired his father and him. He's just a brilliant, brilliant guy. And the new book is very interesting. The new book is Paradox, Antitrust, and the Threat of Conservative Socialism. Let that sink in for a while. For instance, right now, the Commerce Department took 7 equity positions in tech companies. I don't know if I like the sound of that. My next guest, Robert H. Bork Jr., will discuss that and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. Tonight, a crystal clear Good afternoon. Sky. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. The U.S. has launched yet another round of airstrikes on Iran. It came after President Trump told reporters the U.S. would hit Iran hard after Iranian attacks earlier in the week. Thousands of firefighters are in Oregon, battling the 4 largest wildfires in the U.S. The Oregon State Fire Marshal says over 11,000 firefighters are on the job. Family, friends, and former teammates are mourning local basketball hero Tim Bankston, a former Simeon High School basketball player and celebrated coach at Thornton Fractional North High School, after he was found fatally shot inside a home.
Ben Wilson, him, Kenny Allen, it's a lot of ball players up there. They all touch hands again and welcome them home.
Shaun Wright was a Simeon teammate on that 1984 state championship team. The CPS budget is up for a vote today. The district says it will not be able to make payroll in September if the budget does not pass. But union leadership continues to fight that budget. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. You can join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages finishing higher, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ snapping a six-session losing streak as technology and chip makers lead Thursday's rebound following the previous session's Fed-led sell-off. Meta stock plunged 8% on AI build-out worries, while Microsoft stock surged over 15% following its blockbuster earnings report. The Dow up 614 points, the NASDAQ higher by 679, S&P 500 up 121. Shares of Jersey Mike's falling 6% after the sandwich chain made its Wall Street debut. Its IPO was priced at $23 a share. And Amazon delivering robust financial results after the bell with an earnings and revenue beat. Revenue for its cloud segment expanding 37% year over year during the quarter, and its stock is surging after hours. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Everyone walks through seasons of uncertainty, but you don't have to walk through them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find messages of hope, biblical truth, and encouragement from Dr. Charles Stanley, available anytime you need it. Dive into devotionals, watch sermons, or explore resources that help you draw closer to God day by day. When you're ready to refocus your heart and renew your faith, visit intouch.org. It may be exactly what your soul needs today.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family owned with integrity since 1981.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The Kennedy downtown out to O'Hare, 55 minutes. Outbound Edens is wide open. On the Eisenhower, give yourself an hour to get to 390 from the post office. Stevenson out 38 to the Tri-State, 50 out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Dan Ryan, 28 minutes. Burn interchange to 95th. Still tight in the Express, Pershing to Marquette. Skyway is clear. I-57 outbound crashed on the eastbound exit ramp to 159th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive remains jammed south and north. You could say the same for the Tri-State. Jane Addams is clear. Reagan looks good. Heavy southbound 355. Eastbound 8094 crash at Ripley off to the left shoulder. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 69. On Friday, there will be sunshine, followed by increasing clouds, along with periods of rain and a thunderstorm arriving late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. Friday night will be humid with periods of rain, potentially heavy at times, and a chance of a thunderstorm. Keep an eye out for flash flooding with a low of 68. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Now, I have to tell you, I so enjoy our conversations with our next guest. And I know it's going to upset you, but he's so wicked smart, I can't wait to have the conversation. You see, I've been following him since I learned of his existence. I was a big fan of the dad. And when you realize what the son has done, making the old man proud is the least of it. He's quite accomplished in his own rights. He's the author of many, many books. He's an expert in acquisitions, intellectual property, white-collar crime, First Amendment, employment discrimination, you name it, if it has to do with business in America. Robert Bork Jr. understands it. The new book is called The New Paradox, Antitrust and the Threat of Conservative Socialism. I love the title. Robert Bork Jr., how are you, handsome?
I'm just fine. As soon as I'm done with you, I'm having a cigar.
Oh, I'm having one right. Well, this is number 7. I love it because there's a difference between living and surviving. And I do a lot of thinking when I smoke. And I have been thinking about an article I read that I'm not happy about. Commerce Department quietly announces 7 new equity stakes in private companies. Now, here's the thing. They're already our partner. You know, the only people who ever made money understand it. The government's your partner, but only when times are good. Not when times are bad. When times are good, they take your money. Now, we could argue about how they take your money and what the rights are to money. It's a very interesting argument. But the idea that the government has a stake in a company, well, then it's not a company. It's an arm of the government. It's not capitalism. It's not even corporatism. That is socialism. And it's quiet because it should be us that scream the loudest. And I'm wondering, I understand, too, Trump is an anomaly, right? Because he speaks New York. I speak New York. New Yorkers speak in half sentences and innuendo. They think you understand what they're talking about. So when he was talking about tariffs, I was livid in the beginning, and then I finished the sentence until we get to free trade, right? So I'm going to do what they do until we get to free trade. Then I felt better about it. I don't know how you're going to do that with this. I don't want the Commerce Department to have stakes in companies because that means they lose money when the companies lose money, theoretically. Or they guarantee the company never loses money. I don't like it either way. Do you?
No. I would love to think that there could come a time when we could help out, Chrysler or General Motors, because we can't afford to lose the auto companies. But those things didn't work out. I mean, they saved the companies, but we lost money on the deals. I believe, at least on the Chrysler deal. I think General Motors maybe paid it back quickly. But the idea that the government should pick winners and losers, I think we may have talked about this, Shaun. The idea that Trump wanted to buy Spirit Airlines. He wanted to get 90% of Spirit Airlines. And luckily for American taxpayers, the guys who owned the debt on Spirit said, "I don't think so. We're just gonna sell off the parts."
And I had you on when the Biden administration was crushing the opportunity for Spirit to do what companies need to do, which is grow or die, and they were merging.
That was a free market solution,
right?
Compared to what Trump wanted to do, which was a government-imposed solution.
Right, and the thing too, I think though, you gotta keep in perspective what I think is, and I think it's good intentions. This reminds me of all of the reasons I would get in arguments with my family. You might have the best intentions when you try to solve corrupt problems, but to play right into the corrupt hands is the wrong move. And what I mean by that is, Scott Bessent knew, these are not dummies, these are smart guys, exactly what had happened to Spirit Airlines, that they had been knuckled under because of an agreement with so many other airlines and the government, and they were going to keep them from growing so that the other companies that were in with the government didn't have any competition, and it worked. And instead of making up for it by, I don't know if you wanted to finance it would have been better, but to try and take 90% was crazy. So I think sometimes he tries to make up for a wrong, and it's the wrong move. At least that's what I'd like to think. But when you have this new position where we're trying to keep control of the chips, of IT, of AI, and the rest of it, and you make the government a partner in companies, that isn't even, I mean, that is outrageous. And it just happened today. $870 million in federal incentive for semiconductor conductor manufacturing in exchange for a minority equity stake in 7 companies. I do not like any of that. Why is that even there? You want to, this is the other thing too about the Federal Reserve. You negate the idea that people can borrow money at different interest rates, so you force everybody into this problem. Instead of just saying, look, you need the $870 million, we'll give you a 1% loan on $870 million for 30 years. What's wrong with that? But I'm going to take a position. How is it even legal for the government to do this?
Well, you got me. I don't know how it's legal. I sure as hell doesn't make any sense because when does the government actually run something well? I mean, even the military, which I think is a fantastic organization, the Pentagon, they do great things. They defend us. They negotiate. They design and through DARPA wonderful defensive and offensive weapons to keep us free. But we're now out of them. We've run out. So I think the government really, really has only a very narrow range of being a good manager. And because it's not their money.
No,
that's what
they
it
don't
is.
have any money. That's the other thing. They have no money. They're broke. They're bankrupt. It's ghettonomics. It's like watching these idiots in Chicago pretend they have money. You don't have any fracking money. You don't have the $870 million. You're running, they call it a deficit. You're running a bankruptcy. You're managing bankruptcy. And where'd you get the 870? And the answer is they printed it. They made it up. Here's another 870. Drinks are on the house. I mean, there is no fundamental, any fundamental economics in this play. None. And the whole idea well, there is no government. There's only people. So who's going to reap the rewards? And that's going to be the cover. They'll say that any profits will go towards the debt. But how do we know that? They also said there was a Social Security lockbox. There's no such thing. So this is another cover story that smart people, they call themselves conservatives in some cases, smart people are going to have to put mustard on and eat. And what's the pushback? Where are the senators and the congressmen? I think it's because not many of them understand what this is, and the ones who do want in on it. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. I'm not sure that any of these people on the Hill really know where the money comes from, where it goes, and how the hell are we going to get it back? Besides the how many trillion, 40 some odd trillion in debt we have, and the budget deficit every year, there's over 100 million in unfunded liabilities. We are playing with funny money, and the idea. I mean, did you just see that Trump announced that he's cutting back on prescription drug benefits for those of us on Medicare, Part D? Well, I guess maybe he's trying to slide that one by.
Well, I think he
go crazy.
If I read it correctly, the offset would be if you go to that Trump RX and the rest of it. But, you call me crazy. I'm a Ben Franklin myself. I'm not going to be on any medication, except every once in a while I'll get a lap dance, make my blood pressure either go up or down when I need it. But it's, yes. Well, first of all, I'm an anti-Medicare guy in the first place. I really am. I'm an anti-all this stuff guy. If you really want to get down to it, I'm a fundamental capitalist in the John Lockean sense of the word of I don't want the government to do anything. So this is particularly annoying, and it's also a fraud because you're taking currency you don't have. You're creating a problem that could, in essence, make bad economic numbers where they don't need to be. You're fluffing up a company, and you're not being specific with me what the equity is. What is it? Are you taking stock? Are you taking preferred stock? Are you taking ownership? Are you taking a seat on the board? What exactly are you getting, and who's going to manage it when Trump's not in office? That's the other part of the problem, right? You say conservative socialism, and what you really mean is we tolerate an abuse of a principle because we like the guys in there, but we're only 4 years away from a rotation where there's going to be the other morons in there potentially. So I don't like there's no specificity to what this really represents other than an unqualified, never going to get paid back loan of which nobody's going to oversee.
You're absolutely right, as you always are.
Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate it. Let me tell you something. Right now, my wife is somewhere throwing something at something. It's an interesting issue of how quiet everything is. This should be something that we at least demand an answer to. And I like the people I'm demanding answers. I'm not arguing with you. I would love for Scott Bessent. Tell me this. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't you think they owe that to us?
Don't I think they owe what to us?
They owe you. At least sell it to me. At least sell it to me. How do they even do this without this being in a bill or this being in a law or this being something? I was mad when they were cramming through trillions of dollars for green energy, but at least they crammed it through. This is just, I'm going to take $870 million and I'm going to buy an equity stake in this company. And who am I? And where's the equity go? I don't know. I don't like that. How much money can they do this with? How much can they do without a bill?
They have all the money, and if they don't, they'll print more. So they can do anything they want.
Well, boy, that sounds a lot like Soviet Union, right? I mean, here we are. We're getting all ready to fight these socialists in New York, and the chick in Wisconsin who's really funny because her and her husband had a restaurant that went bankrupt, shut the doors. I know, let's make her the governor of Wisconsin. That should turn out famously. And you look at all of this stuff that goes on with the money that's misappropriated that they're supposed to have accountability on. I mean it. I don't like that they just had $870 million and said we're taking a stake in the company and nobody gets a word on it. You really backdoor nationalized the right to money, the purse, the public purse. Why isn't this being challenged?
If you're asking me why it's not being challenged, it's because I don't think people really pay that much attention to this kind of stuff, and they don't understand it, and the schools aren't teaching them how to balance their checkbooks or anything that would help them, or basic civics to make them understand what's going on. What they get, they watch CNN or one of those other things, and even Fox News to a great degree is kind of.
Oh, I've lost a lot of respect.
Yeah,
I've lost a lot of respect for Fox. I really have. But this particular issue is something where you're going to tell me where there's other examples of this that I was unaware of. I mean, although, listen, the reality is I believe every policy the government perpetrates is not constitutional. But where are some great examples of conservative socialism, aside from the fact we pretend that Obamacare is anything other than the backdoor nationalization of health care in general? But where's other examples of conservatives saying, I got an idea, let's be socialists and we'll call it capitalism?
Exactly. No, it just on this matter of buying things. The federal government has taken equity stakes in what do they call it? Metals.
The rare earth metals.
Yeah, at least two companies. I've got shares in NVIDIA. They've got shares in Intel. They've got shares in so many things. And what are they? Part of the problem also for me is not just that they're taking shares in those things, but does that mean that those companies are going to get favored nation status in Washington? Are they going to? Are they going to get deals that the other companies aren't going to get because we don't own a piece of them?
They have to. In essence, they have to. We have a shared interest. This is the problem with it. It gets convoluted. And, the other problem with it is they have immunity from reality. This is why I go crazy with anything green energy, right? Because there's trillions of dollars that are missing. You have companies that have stock. Rivian is always my favorite to go to because it's absolutely preposterous that they pretend that's anything other than a shell game. But this really is an example of what happens when you have so much debt. People tell you we're going to help you by making us partners, and they don't tell me how, right? Because that's going to be the excuse. The only conclusion I can come to, and the only reason that this is even floated is, look, we got a $40 trillion debt. We need to have this equity stake, or somebody else will have the equity stake, or China will get a bigger advantage, because this is what China does. By the way, this is exactly what China does. And all of a sudden, when this company makes money, well, some of it will go to the debt. Well, how do I know? This is the other thing. You keep treating people like children, and after a while, they start calling you mommy and daddy. This is really, you're treating us like children. I want to know how, when, where was the vote, what's the specificity, how many shares, are it dividends, where does the dividend money go? I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I haven't heard anybody but me and you talk about it. And this happened, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and was consummated today or yesterday?
Yeah. Look, when markets become political, success doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on pleasing consumers. It depends on pleasing Washington. So all of these companies, have to worry about making sure that the Commerce Department, Donald Trump, Scott Bessent, that they're happy with what we're doing. And, damn the consumers, damn the people who buy their products.
And it prevents a collapse, right? It really does. Right. There's these markets. So the whole thing of IT and AI and all the rest of it, it's a bubble. No, it's not. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, you think back to all of the great crashes, and crashes are great because it weeds out the lie and it gives opportunity to the new. People forget this. The .com crash was the best thing to ever happen to America and the internet. All of the other thing was a fraud. So what happens now if AI, in fact, is a bubble? Well, now it'll never be a bubble. Because if you're telling me the American government has a vested interest in AI companies, well, it has to do something. But the other side of the coin is it also can control the success of it, not just the failure of it. It can control the success. In essence, what this can do is assure that AI is never released the one place it should be released, first and foremost, on government, right? Because the minute AI is released on government spending, first thing it's going to do is say, this company that I'm a part of isn't really a company, and it's certainly not valued at where it is because we now have almost $1 billion in stock that we should never have, right?
Shaun, I fear that you're going to be so right, and that the consequences are going to be really dire when we at least be dead. Is this something my grandfather has to? Grandkid has to take care of? Because as long as we're dead afterwards, we'll take the canes. We'll be dead. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I was just thinking of the movie Colossus: The Forbin Project. They're going to decide Washington isn't really working out, so we're just going to pave it over. The
New York
bulldozers are going to come.
New York is deciding that anyway. The Fourth Reich, calling themselves Democrat Socialists, they should love this. They should love this. They should actually run on this, don't you think?
I wish they would just disappear and have their beer hall meetings and call it a night.
When you were doing the book, what examples did you really decimate? I mean, this is new news. When you wrote the book, what were you using as motivation to say, are you aware that this has happened under what was called conservative? And I'm going to guess a lot of it happened under the Bushies.
Yeah, but a lot of it was happening. The thing was shocking to us. My colleague Mark Davis and I, it was shocking to us was just how much of the Lena Khan, socialist, actually Marxist philosophy was leaking into the Republican Party. That they were going, yeah, we should do that. Yeah, we don't like big. We don't like success. That's the key. The left, the Marxists don't like successful companies. And again, that's what the Republicans are sort of lurching toward all the time, because and they got tricked into it because many of those companies were trying to control speech for their left-wing friends, but that's changed a lot. Meta and X and all that. It's changed a lot now, but we just like beating up on big things, and people, I think voters generally forever have been nervous about big things, big companies.
Well, it just reminds me, right? It's always the argument, the Fabians versus the Marxists. That's it. That's exactly what's happening. The Fabians are now the Republicans. They have been for decades, but it's really that it's not that we're opposed to government ownership and intervention and control. It's that we just don't like you. This is something. This is something that I can't wait to go through the book. Is it out now?
It's been out for a couple of months, and you can get it on a big tech company, Amazon. That's where I sell it. They give me a good deal, so I'm very happy.
He's got to be nervous. He's got to be nervous right now. He's got to be very, very nervous. When you look at the benefit to mankind Jeff Bezos has done. Think about it. His mother was 17 when she got knocked up with him. And you look at what he did, how many Americans and around the world, people he made rich, that could have never happened if the government had a piece of that company, could it?
No, absolutely not. And I just had a piece yesterday in his Washington Post talking about this very problem of what this administration has done in a kind of conservative socialist vein. So maybe we should talk about that sometime.
We got to have a cigar with Trump. Me, you, Besson, and Trump, we ironed this whole thing out. Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. Sure, Shaun. Absolutely. That'll happen.
In the meantime, the new book is called The New Paradox, Antitrust and the Threat of Conservative Socialism. It's out now. He is Robert Bork, Jr. Thank you for always making time for me, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, you need the best team on your side. Priority Tax Relief has helped thousands of Americans resolve their IRS problems and settle for pennies on the dollar. As a leading tax resolution firm, we have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and a 4.9-star rating on Google because we deliver results and huge savings. If you owe $5,000 or more and even facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or IRS letters, call us today at 800-741-5015. Once you call, our tax professionals will call the IRS with you for free, and within minutes, start negotiating a settlement. We'll put a stop to collections and fight to get you the best settlement possible. Choose the company Americans trust most. Call Priority Tax Relief now at 800-741-5015 to see what relief you qualify for. Don't wait. Make the call. Dial 800-741-5015. Once again, that's 800-741-5015.
Socialism, you know what the insurance agency is, Squirrel? The government. The good news is in America, the youngest and the richest with the highest quality of life, we have capitalism. And there are good insurance companies, there are great insurance companies, and there are ones that are just, But what do you do if you get stuck with one? And they tell you, if you got your house, your car, and your boat and your motorcycle with one company, your rates will come down. How do you know? Did you do the legwork yourself? I did. In fact, Squirrel, I was just going over this. I have 3 different insurance companies. I've got one for a home, one for an apartment building, one for cars. Now, if you have cars, boats, motorcycles, homes, apartment buildings, or if you just want to know if you're getting robbed or not, call Tommy and TJ Iaquinta at Class A Insurance. It'll take seconds for them to give you a quote. You can call them. They pick up the phone. It'll be Tommy, the father, who built the business over 25 years right there in Chicagoland, named one of the top 25 insurance agents in the Chicagoland area. Call 708-328-5150. That number again, 708-328-5150. You have to manage your money. Nobody's taking care. We're not socialists. We're not going to be. Even if we are, it's going to suck and it's going to go bankrupt. You look out for you. Call 708-328-5150 to make sure you have the best insurance company, the best fit at the best rate for your car, for your boat, for your motorcycle, for your home, for your investment property. 708-328-5150 or online, 560insurance.com. 560insurance.com. Get a quote in minutes. When we get back, Mitchell is my Mercury in retrograde. What do we got going on? Age of Aquarius. We'll talk to Mitchell about that and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. Tonight, a crystal clear sky and a low of 63. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, Chicago Sun-Times is reporting that a key member of the Chicago Police Oversight Body has urged the Chicago City Council to postpone the search for a permanent replacement for retired police superintendent Larry Snelling until after the mayoral election. Anthony Driver is asking that the November 12 deadline for the commission to complete a nationwide search be put off until spring. Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul says he'll move to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. Reporter Monica Elba says it follows Fauci's refusal to answer questions.
Refusing more than 100 times to answer questions Wednesday during a contentious Senate hearing.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
The former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases calling the Republican chairman unhinged.
The news is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. Welcome a Woodland sales expert into your home, and you'll get a no-pressure sale. A product expert, a design consultant, and someone who has your best interest in mind. Visit woodlandwindows.com to get started. Your next news is at 6. Continuous news and traffic at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the evening commute in the traffic center with Jill Urchek.
Trouble-free conditions on the Edens, Montrose to Lake Cook Road, while the Kennedy is a 50-minute trip out to O'Hare from the Jane Byrne interchange. Eisenhower out 1 hour, Post Office to 390. Stevenson 48 minutes out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway from DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Outbound Ryan 30 minutes, express slowing Pershing to Marquette. Outbound 57, watch out for an accident on the eastbound exit ramp to 159th. Expect delays along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State both directions. In fact, the Reagan and 355 delayed either way, but the Jane Addams seems to escape those delays at this moment. So that's great news. This report is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 69. On Friday, expect sun followed by clouds with periods of rain and a thunderstorm late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
In Cook County, regular no lead is $3.69 a gallon at the Sam's Club in Calumet City, $3.85 a gallon at the Mobile on Harlem Avenue in Worth, and $3.86 a gallon at the Delta Sonic on Halstead in Glenwood.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $283. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part? My guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
During the War for Independence, General George Washington, the man we refer to today as the father of our country, led American troops through military defeat after defeat. And in the bitter winter of 1777, he wrote this somber note to a friend in Philadelphia. Quote, "You might have tracked our army from White Marsh to Valley Forge by the blood on their feet," end of quote. Many soldiers continued to march through the deep snows of Pennsylvania without shoes. Others suffered from disease, hunger, and freezing conditions. Nearly 2,000 of Washington's men died. Yet George Washington did not lose faith. Amid the hardship, loss, and uncertainty of Valley Forge, he turned to God in prayer. At a time when our nation once again faces division and uncertainty, may we follow Washington's example, kneeling humbly, praying faithfully, and asking God to guide the future of America.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Got a large collection? We'll make it fit in your wallet. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Why do you believe that the police must still exist?
Still exist? Because the reality of this moment and in the types of public safety systems that we have, I want us to be sensible and realistic, but we know now that the billions invested in the criminal legal system is not working. We are spending on incarcerating an individual more than tuition for UW-Madison. That, this is about making sure that local law enforcement is working with community, that we are taking resources from the state and investing in things like public education, victim services, out of school programs for our kids to go and have a great, be able to be themselves. These are things that data and facts have shown that.
Shut the frack up. Failed business whore. Easy to be a communist. But keep in mind, we own stock, in essence. All the police stations, all the courthouses, all the jails. How's that working out for us? Mitchell, that's Blaines.
Hey, Shaun, yesterday when Fauci was doing his congressional hearings, it was on a full moon in Aquarius, no less.
See, I knew something was going on. I knew it was feeling, fighting with everybody. I don't even know what the hell moon's in Aquarius and retrograde.
It was a full moon.
Should I call my bondsman? Should I call my bondsman?
Yes, because the full moon is in opposition to the sun and Jupiter in Leo. It brings out conflicts, and it also illuminates things that are hidden. Now, Fauci, this lying weasel, Weasel Valentine, he knew that the vaccine never went through the clinical trials. Strike one, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So when you talk about that on your clip earlier, he talks about how important that is, but somehow during Operation Warp Speed, that goes right out the window, Daddy-O. So he knew that the vaccines, none of them, actually prevent you getting COVID-19, and that's why Pfizer had such a threat. This is what I want to ask you. You know why Pfizer was so threatened by ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine? Because they're generic.
Yeah, because they didn't own it.
With hot COVID.
Do you know what I keep thinking about? They could have never pulled off When I say they, I mean the Democrats. No one would have bought Operation Warp Speed if it wasn't Trump that put it forward. You know, the problem I have is that they use his popularity against us. And I am telling you something, when you see this, there is no such thing as socialism. It's just government scumbag, lowlife thieves in charge of money and businesses. There's no socialism. So when you see this stuff happening, right, the rise of these children, these intellectual midgets, these kids that never worked, or if they did, they lost their family restaurant like Hong, Love Me Hong Time. And you see the rest of it. This door can only be cracked open if we, the decent people, don't say anything when Trump takes a stake in a company. I'm sorry, I believe that. Now, people will go, oh, there's states with sovereign funds. And they're wrong. They're wrong. A state can never be an investor. It's a taxer. What do you mean, an investor? So I got a problem with the breakdown here, kid. But the good news is I think we can push it back. We need the moon to be in retrograde against Mercury's ass. Thank you very much, Mitchell. Oh, I didn't mean to hang up on you. I think there's tides and this stuff, and Mitchell's a very, very interesting cat, and you can't help but notice how often he is with the tumult in our body politic and in some cases our own life. When we talk about this guy Fauci, I don't think it mattered if the moon was in retrograde or Mercury or the age of Aquarius. Fauci's been a scumbag since 1968, and everybody knows it. And a liar. Come on. He's a bureaucrat. Can they tell the truth?
If once you've retired, Republicans want you to go testify, is that something you would do?
Sure, I certainly would consider that. But you've got to remember, I believe oversight is a very important part of government structure. And I will.
The whole time, financing through EcoHealth Alliance, the creation of the pandemic, the whole time. So, in essence, do you really care what he would have said? I think he did us all a favor with the fifth. Doesn't matter what they say. They're Democrats. They open their mouth and it means nothing. Now, you're going to sell socialism by a guy, Ro Khanna, insider trading, $170 million, going to tell you how great it is to be a socialist. Won't pay his fracking taxes, let alone give up any of the profits of piracy.
You are enabling our youth to think that socialism is a viable way to run an economy.
No, I'm sitting down with Jensen. My district has $18 trillion of wealth. We originate almost a quarter of the wealth of the country.
Like they feel disenfranchised.
And I've written a whole book. I just was in the Washington Post calling for progressive capitalism, which is
progressive capitalism. You made $170 million. You never lost a trade, never lost a dollar.
This is worse than I thought. This guy, Ro Khanna from California, since he's been in office, he is averaging 17 trades every single trading day for an average of $16,500 per trade. 17 trades a day every single day for holy, how is that possible? I'm sorry, but even if you have somebody doing this for you, how can you 17 trades a day, 2,000 days since you've been in office?
See, Squirrel, he's not really a socialism. He certainly doesn't believe in it. He hasn't given one dime of the $170 million he insider traded to anybody. In fact, he'll tell you why he should never pay tax on you. They're not socialists. They're con artists.
Basically, let's talk about the tax stability.
That's like good government.
If America has been good to you, you can do good for America. We have 19 billionaires, Joe. 19 billionaires.
What good do you do? What good do you? How about your father-in-law, that ugly bastard? What good do you do? Oh, the wife drives a Range Rover. You don't even buy American, scumbag. Trump, when asked, here, you want to know? I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to make the opposite argument. When Trump is asked about taking a stake in the companies, I'm a progressive socialist like Ro Khanna and all the other tax cheats like J.B. Pritzker, like the Clinton Foundation, all the scum that have been promising the same thing Gus Hall promised all of those years ago.
The communist vote is a vote for life. A vote for the communist ticket. It is a vote to end racism, to all forms of discrimination. It is a vote for jobs, a vote for decent income, a home for everyone, for full equality of women, especially on the job. It is a vote for free child care centers, and for working mothers, a 6 months maternity leave with full pay. It is a vote for free quality medical care, hospital care for all who need it. It is a vote for free college education for all regardless of income. We have the materials, we have the manpower to build a decent home for every family. We can build enough schools and hospitals. If we can have modern mass transit systems. We can eliminate poverty and want. We can do all this. We can provide these services only if we eliminate corporate profits as the kingpin on the list of priorities.
Wrong. Who's the we, and do I have to live next door to your thieving asses? 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Since 2007, Folds of Honor has awarded nearly 73,000 educational scholarships, over $340 million to the children and spouses of America's fallen and disabled military heroes and first responders. This year alone, 7,700 qualified applicants didn't receive funding, not because they didn't deserve it, because resources ran out. You can change that. On Saturday, September 12th, you're invited to an exclusive VIP concert experience at a private estate in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, featuring Gary LaVox of Rascal Flatts and the Swan Brothers, benefiting Folds of Honor. This is an intimate evening with incredible live music and an even more incredible cause. Tickets are limited, and if you own a business, this is your chance to put your brand behind something that truly matters. Honor their sacrifice, educate their legacy, make lifetime memories. For tickets or business sponsorship opportunities, visit foldsconcert.com. That's foldsconcert.com. Saturday, September 12th. Don't miss it. foldsconcert.com.
Maybe you've thought about taking a cruise. Maybe you've even talked yourself out of it. But this is not just another vacation. This is the Gulf of America cruise. 7 days through the Caribbean with Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, Jennifer Horn, and a ship full of people who love this country. No packing and unpacking, no complicated planning, just great destinations, meaningful conversations, and a once-in-a-generation celebration of America's 250th. This November, be there. Text CRUISE to 94878 to book your cabin today. AM 560, The Answer.
Anthony Russo. What's his story, honey? But he was a half-assed wise guy and a friend of Nick Rockefeller. Used to pal around with Nick Rockefeller. He did a movie or a book about this scoundrel. And the money that he was able to acquire just hanging around with a Rockefeller scumbag.
Well, one of the things they told me was that he was at the house one night, and we were talking, and he started laughing. He said, "Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about?" And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote. You know, and he started to laugh. He said, "You're an idiot." And I said, "Why am I an idiot?" He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He said, there were two primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up the family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for Women's Lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble adventure.
Yeah. Welcome to reality, dummy. Bob, the trucker.
Hey, man, I got through right away.
Yeah, well, we take you, babe. We take you.
Yeah. Hey, you helped me last week or about a week and a half ago about my problem with my Marxist college-educated son.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, well, that went pretty well.
See?
Thank you for that information, because I stood my ground, and I don't know, I got him to listen anyway.
Well, listen,
Hey,
that's
listen,
the nice thing
I
about
got
having a
something
kid.
else.
At least you can get through them. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you happen to catch Trump's press conference today about illegal truckers.
Yes. I didn't grab a clip, but I saw it.
Okay, so normally I'm a Trump guy, and I'm conservative, but I am so pissed off over this.
Which
that
part?
I can't see straight.
Which part?
What?
Which part?
All right, so he gets up there with a bunch of other people that know nothing about trucking, and they're passing this new program for getting veterans to drive trucks.
Yeah, they're circumventing.
Okay, so,
well, what the rule
I'm
is?
all for getting the illegals off the road. Don't get me wrong, because we need to do that.
Yeah,
And they said they've gotten 24,000 off the road as of now. Well, they could do 10 times that many easily. And the reason this is not the way to go about this is because this is all a money grab. This American Trucking Association, they are no friend to the American truck driver. They are a large lobbying group for the largest trucking companies in America. And one of those companies was up on stage today, the president of Werner Trucking. That is one of the worst companies in America, Shaun.
Yeah,
and if you doubt me,
I'm aware.
If you doubt me,
no, I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you. I'm very aware of it. Yeah.
Their turnover is 100% for truck drivers. What does that tell you? They are the scum of the earth. And this is all a money grab, Shaun. This is about big companies getting government money to subsidize the fact that they cannot recruit good drivers.
You know, Bob, I think you're. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. I'm very well versed in this and the labor extortion mafia that they've been in bed with for years, and the amount of unqualified illegals they themselves have put on the road. So I tend to agree with you. We got to keep our eye on it, but that's what we do. Thanks for the call. We'll be back.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and last year I hired Level 10 Coatings to give my garage floor a total makeover, and I am loving it. It still looks great, shiny, and clean. Level 10 Coatings. Now, you've got to call these guys if your garage floor is cracked, stained, still covered in salt. Don't live like that. Get it done now so you can enjoy it this summer. Level 10 Coatings. They're fast, reliable, and highly professional. Guess what? I went to work. When I came home, it was done. A shiny new gleaming garage floor. A quick, easy fix. And it's guaranteed never to chip or peel. Why? It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is much better than epoxy. So schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Or call 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Hey, AM 560 listeners, Jeff checking in again from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. What I learned serving our great nation in the military is that every mission is unique and success starts with listening. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led house buying team has taken the time to understand what matters most to each homeowner we serve. Every home has a story, and every seller has different needs. Whether you want a quick closing or need extra time to find your next place, we customize our approach around what works best for you. That's how we've earned hundreds of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB, by putting relationships first. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and you pick the closing date that works best for your schedule. At JeffBuysYourHouse.com, we're here to help you through the entire transition, not just the transaction. Are you ready to work with a local team that takes the time to understand your home selling needs? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us today at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, you need the best team on your side. Priority Tax Relief has helped thousands of Americans resolve their IRS problems and settle for pennies on the dollar. As a leading tax resolution firm, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and a 4.9-star rating on Google because we deliver results and huge savings. If you owe $5,000 or more and even facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or IRS letters, call us today at 800-741-5015. Once you call, our tax professionals will call the IRS with you for free, and within minutes, start negotiating a settlement. We'll put a stop to collections and fight to get you the best settlement possible. Choose the company Americans trust most. Call Priority Tax Relief now at 800-741-5015 to see what relief you qualify for. Don't wait. Make the call. Dial 800-741-5015. Once again, that's 800-741-5015.
The following contains a celebrity impersonation.
Mr. President, we're seeing reporting that air conditioning systems are failing as temperatures rise. What is your response?
I said, don't wait. People wait until the last second, then suddenly it's hot and nothing works. I understand this stuff probably better than anybody.
Mr. President, why hasn't the White House issued any guidance?
I gave perfect guidance. Call Air Right Heating and Cooling. That's the guidance. If people followed it, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Sir, but homeowners have so many HVAC options.
They're not like Air Right. You've got some bad installers out there, some real bad hombres. I wouldn't let them near the White House. It would be a complete disaster.
Mr. President, there are reports of significant rebates on new systems. Can you confirm?
I've heard about them. A lot of people talking about them. If you miss out, you'd have to be really not so smart. Tremendous savings, let me tell you.
Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling at AIR-RITE.com. Air Right. Doing it right since 1959.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
So when exactly are people in Crooked County going to get their tax bill? I couldn't help but notice as Pritzker pretends, hey, I didn't raise your taxes, your local government does. That's when I said to myself, get me David. Get David Hochberg. I want to talk to him about this, and I want to know why he's not running for governor. We'll talk to the aforementioned David Hochberg. You can find his website at 56david.com after Foxweiser.
This is a Fox News alert, a deal to disarm. I'm Lee Silasera. President Trump just posting on Truth Social that the Board of Peace reached a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and all other armed groups in Gaza, calling it a monumental step towards lasting peace and security. The president thanking the mediators, Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar for their efforts, along with his team, who he says made the breakthrough possible. And he wrote, under this agreement, Gaza will finally be in the hands of a new Palestinian government that serves its people. Spain has deployed its military to a small territory that borders Morocco, as thousands of migrants cross the border with at least 9 killed.
Spain's Interior Ministry says the government actually could not declare a national emergency because under Spanish law, migration flows are not considered a national security risk. The head of Ceuta's regional government said today's surge came after more than 1,500 migrants arrived over the past week. Migrant reception centers were already overwhelmed before today.
Fox's Nate Foy. Meanwhile, Italy's prime minister says she's considering suspending her country's open border agreement with Spain, saying it's to ensure the safety of Italian citizens. President Trump says he may pull the nomination of Todd Blanche as Attorney General after 2 Republicans, including Senator John Cornyn of Texas, voiced objections over an IRS settlement that grants immunity for the president and his family over past tax audits.
The fact that they're balking at putting that in writing tells me that they were hoping to get by with this settlement agreement and his testimony and then revitalize those provisions at a later date.
That fund was criticized by both Republicans and Democrats. Cornyn lost a primary earlier this year to a Trump-supported candidate. Senator Tom Tillis, who also objected to the nomination, is not running for re-election. America's listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Westbound 8094 at Burr, there is an accident blocking the center lane, and then we have delays on all of the tollways except for the Jane Addams. They are very, very busy at this time. DuSable Lakeshore Drive also heavy. On the outbound Edens, trouble-free conditions. Kennedy 45 out to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, 38 minutes to Wolf Road. Give yourself an hour. Post Office to 390. Stevenson out 40 to the Tri-State, 50 out to 355. Dan Ryan out 30 minutes. Tie-ups in the Express, 35th to Marquette. Heavy outbound 4 to 115th to Bovian Woods. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and The Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 69. On Friday, there will be sunshine, followed by increasing clouds, along with periods of rain and a thunderstorm arriving late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. Friday night will be humid with periods of rain, potentially heavy at times, and a chance of a thunderstorm. Keep an eye out for flash flooding with a low of 68. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Life moves fast, and it's easy to feel spiritually drained. That's why InTouch.org is here to help you stay grounded in God's Word every day. At InTouch.org, you'll find biblical teaching from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, free resources, and messages that speak directly to what you're facing. Whether you need encouragement, clarity, or a moment to reconnect with God, it's all right at your fingertips. Discover a place to grow your faith and find real hope at InTouch.org.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time's up. The IRS isn't waiting. They're coming for your paycheck, your bank account, even your home. You ignored the letters. You thought it would go away. It won't. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, you are already in the crosshairs of the IRS. Wage garnishments, bank levies, tax liens, they're not threats. They're next. But here's the truth. You still have a chance to fight back. This is Patrick Noon with PJN Tax Solutions Group. We are a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. Call us now at 630-415-5296. We don't do fluff. We get results. Call us now, 630-415-5296. That number again, 630-415-5296. Or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
The minute
red, white, and blue.
I got this clip. The minute I heard this,
when the band plays Hail to the Chief,
Governor of Illinois, who's built like every lesbian in Oak Park, open his mouth.
I didn't raise property taxes, as you know. It's local governments that do that, and there are a lot of lines on your property tax bill that indicate what units of government are doing that. You need local governments to decide they are going to lower or at least stop raising property taxes.
He's a victim, as all Democrats are during an election year, which is why I said, why is this handsome son of a gun, VP of Lending at Team Hochberg at Atlantic Coast Mortgage, who has helped secure over $15 billion in loans for Americans, for Illinoisans, help people achieve dreams, understands right and wrong and fundamental economics, and has been arguing against not just Crooked County, but so much of what the Democrat mafia has done to the country. He's also the favored customers at Maury's Big and Tall. David Hochberg, how are you, sexy?
Good, man. Fundamental's a big word. Don't worry about it. Just keep working on it. You'll get it.
I'm trying to light a cigar. I'm out of matches. I got one burning. I got a lot of things going on, and I'm about to talk to a guy who I know is eating. However, I am watching the tale of two worlds. Listen to me. Commercial has spiked, and since the last 2 quarters, 36 to 43% where I am. Commercial. Residential.
Commercial real estate in Florida?
Spike. You can't find nothing, Mo. Everything is either, it's crazy what's going on. Crazy. But I've also been watching the luxury market over the last 4 months. It spiked 30%. What stagnates are the areas that always stagnate. But the reason it's spiking, and it's, by the way, it's spiking on the East Coast as well, commercial, luxury, it's because all the people are fleeing. The New Yorkers, it used to be Pritzker was the broker of Florida. It turns out now it's this Mendamny and Hochul. But I'm telling you, people are running here. Gavin Newsom's, I told you when his in-laws bought, they live a mile away from me in Proft. It's insanity what's going on. And this is always what happens, right? The tale of two worlds. But when you look at what's happened in Cook County, and now the property taxes, did they get the bill? They still didn't get the bills out, did they?
They have not gotten the bills out. That lying Cook County president that, it's all fixed in February right before the election, right? And then after she was elected, about like 8 weeks ago, comes out, we're not going to, the August tax bill will be late. And she said it'll be out by September 1st. Well, my sources said you got a better chance of having bats fly out of your ass than that happening.
Well, so she secured the nomination. She's still got an election, right? Not that. Is there a Republican even running? Yeah, she's got an election,
but please, who knows? The teachers union alone puts her in. So it's ridiculous. The people of Cook County, I did everything I could.
Yeah, you did.
To support Brendan, and not enough people felt the same way I did, and now we're stuck with her for another 4 years probably.
I didn't help you with that, Brendan Riley, though. I did not help you. I was at Moss in Elmwood Park. You came there with a film crew, and the guy made the mistake of coming up to my table. It was fantastic. You would have loved it. However, the reason I feel this way is because, to me, the idea and the ridiculous excuse of, I have to run as a Democrat because the people are too stupid to vote for somebody who's not. This is not going to get better until people recognize exactly what happens. It is a bankruptcy trajectory and loop and fraud. But there seems to be a tremendous amount of excitement around the mayor's race. What do you predict? Give me the predictions of our once great city, now a ghetto.
There's like 40 people running. Who the hell knows who's running? I guess Janulius is going to announce tomorrow in Bronzeville or something. You got the old comptroller, Menendez, what's her name? With all her videos. You've got Mike Quigley out there. You've got Mendoza. The guy, Mendoza. You got Mike Quigley, the state, the congressman. Mike
He's
Quigley.
great.
It was like
He's
there's
great.
Like 8 or 10 people running. I don't know if Vallis is getting in again. Who the hell knows?
Well, what's funny is that nobody, aside from the lovely girl, I think her name is Carter, she's running as an independent, which is close to a Republican. But it's fascinating to watch the limp-wristed campaigns of Illinois Republican. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And I don't know where Pritzker's look-alike, stunt double, where is Yogi Bear? Anybody happen to see Darren Bailey? Have you seen him?
Oh, God, please. He stands. Oh, you know who else is running? Maria Pappas is probably going to announce that she's running too. Here, all this does is water the field down and helps that piece of crap that's in there now, Brandon Johnson. That's all it does. It waters it down. Okay?
Can I ask?
And that's what happened last time. Less than 18% of the voters voted for this piece of garbage. It's destroying the city.
So what's going on with short sales? They have to be. It can't be everybody just taking a haircut. Are short sales back, and are they strong again? Are banks panicking? It's been forever since institutional buyers avoided Chicago. What are they doing?
Here's what's happening. I talked to a guy this morning, ran into him at a coffee shop. He listed his place in Park Ridge. Take it easy. I had an egg McMuffin at the coffee shop.
All right, go ahead.
I know you were, so take it easy. I felt it coming, so shove it. So he comes up to me. His realtor listed his condo, his 2-bedroom condo, for $549 in Park Ridge. It sat there for 7 months, not a bite. Hired another realtor, dropped it to $399. Okay, so they came back at like $385. Okay, so this is where the market's at. It's not, you don't got 10 people lining up outside your door anymore. Okay, it's not Park Ridge. Okay,
that's not a
Main
good
South
sign.
School District, great schools, right? I mean, no, it's a great time to be selling a property because school started in 2-3 weeks. You want to get your kids in.
Oh, and you got Pazza
Right?
di Pizza, the best Italian restaurant in the suburbs, right there.
It's right there.
But Park Ridge, you have to understand when we talk about this, you and I understand. It used to be you couldn't even get the listing in. You had 5 guys trying to buy it. So when you see good neighborhoods and what's going on in the real upper echelon, what's going on in Tony Glenview and some of the other Northbrook and Glencoe and all, what's happening with that?
You still got 3-4 people lining up out the door for a single family house. I got a guy 2 blocks away from me. He's got one in. I know you're thinking that would decrease the price of the house, but he's got an offer in for like $950, right? And it was a multiple offer, and he got the deal. So the properties are still moving, but rates are up, Shaun. Rates are up 0.75 of a point since we started bombing Iran again, and the Fed Chair Warsh holding the rates steady yesterday. The bond traders didn't like that. The bond traders see inflation. They don't like inflation, and they want higher yields for their money. So we always talk about what the biggest misconception. The Feds control interest rates and mortgage rates, and all because the Fed dropped the rates, mortgage rates should go down here. The Fed kept the rates sideways yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to mortgage rates today? They're up 1/8 of a point. Okay, the 10-year bond closed yesterday at 4.63 or 4.68. We were in the threes 8 months ago or 6 months ago when we started bombing Iran. So it dipped down when we signed the memorandum of understanding, which was you can wipe your ass with. And then, we had a little bit of a lull for 30 days. We started dropping bombs 3 weeks ago. Rates are up 0.5 to 0.75 of a point. So, listen, we can't do anything about it. You just got to quote the rates that come out. But the market, the bond traders, which govern mortgage rates, did not like that the Fed did not raise rates yesterday.
Well, first, and then the other shoe dropped. It just didn't make a sound yet, and that's this ridiculous nature that you bar institutions from buying real estate, brother. You want to talk about destroying areas like Illinois? I mean, I don't care where you are, and you talk about now. Did you see Oak Park? They got rid of you can't zone single family anymore. Did you see they passed that yesterday or the day before?
Oh, they passed that?
They passed it. Now, I think it's one more hurdle. So now you've got the backdoor multifamily of what used to be decent neighborhoods. What do you think that looks like? I mean, my point is, listen, you can take bad times. We've all been through bad times, right? But if you are now putting up barriers for the correction of bad times, well, then you're not going to get good times. So if you see this, and, we're talking about areas, and you said 2 blocks, you 940, and everybody said, well, that's not bad. But, inflationally adjust the money 10 years ago. Congratulations. The guy just got $600,000 for it. Yeah. $600,000. It's $600. It's what you got. Yeah. You might say $950, but 10 years ago, it's your $600,000 is $950 today. So these are not good indicators. And when you have different areas that are showing opposite, you're seeing a separation of societies. You're a separation of politics. It's always politics. This could all be corrected without the politics of these morons who pretend we're going to go back to the Daley years when you could tolerate the scumbags. You can't. I honestly want to know what you're doing with your business. Have you thought about, you do a lot of stuff outside of Illinois, but are you one of these guys now that are going to be fleeing? I'm curious. Like me?
No, my wife. No, I built this gigantic, ridiculously house that I got enough room in the back to bury me because that's where I'm getting buried. I told my wife we should move. She's like, you'll move without me, and I'm just like, all right. I considered it for a minute, and then I thought how much money that would cost me, and that's not. Plus, I love her too much. But here, I will tell you this.
See what he did there, Squirrel? That's
Oak Park.
That's a pro.
Yeah. Hold on, Oak Park, right? You get what you deserve in Oak Park. You knew what you were getting with all that liberal BS in Oak Park, right? And in Evanston, I had dinner with a buddy of mine, my urologist yesterday, by the way. He told me that my prostate felt like flowers.
What are you, Pete Silvestri? Your best friend, your urologist? Cough.
No,
Go ahead.
we went over to EJ's over by Old Orchard, right?
Well, why not? He's had your junk in his hand. The least you could do is buy him a sandwich.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And my wife's. He's my wife's urologist too. So, he's in Evanston. He's conservative in Evanston, and he's just like his head spins off when he's like, you won't believe what they did now. They built a school.
Yeah.
They passed a referendum not to build a school. Then they build a school. Okay, and now they don't have any money to run both schools that they have, so now they want to shut one of the schools down. That was perfectly fine, and they want to put up affordable housing around the corner from his $1 million house. I'm just like, yeah, that you live in Evanston. What do you expect? They tried to pass that crap here in Northbrook, and we shot it down.
Yeah, well, Evanston's on a suicide.
It's so ridiculous.
Well, and people don't realize how they sell it. Listen to this.
The debate over housing is front and center tonight at West Suburban Oak Park. The village is considering a plan that would end zoning for single-family only homes. Supporters say this could create more housing, but critics worry it could change the character of their neighborhoods.
Now, do you know what that's called in Florida? I don't know what it's called in Illinois or Oak Park, but you know what it's called in Florida? A cell sign.
Stupid move. Stupid move. That's what it's called.
This is going to be interesting, right, as you expand the Section 8 housing and as you expand welfare. And you've now have states like our own or my old and your still that are now doing this for illegal aliens. So it's going to be a very interesting change in fluctuation. And I'm curious to know how it turns out in politics. Now, were you running for something or were you going to run?
No, our village president in Northbrook is so horrible. She talks, she said in January that Northbrook Court is dead. Okay, she did a State of the Village speech in front of in the library in front of all the business owners and residents, and she said, "quote unquote," Northbrook Court is dead. We have over 130 acres, I believe, of prime real estate on the North Shore, and our village president is up there saying that it's dead. And our village manager just resigned. Thank God, she's a disaster. Lied to my face on multiple times, and she resigned, and we gave her a sweet package going out the door, and she came from Oak Park, right? So they want to turn all the different communities into Oak Park and Evanston. If I want to live in Oak Park and Evanston, I buy a house in Oak Park and Evanston. Okay, I don't want to live in Oak Park and Evanston. That's where I live in Northbrook. And if the people in Oak Park, right, beautiful homes there, right?
Oh, I got a friend of mine. Listen, I got a friend of mine, and he's very smart guy. Very, very smart. And he's been there for years and years and years. And the money that they are paying on what's the beautiful homes you're describing, it is so unmoored from any reality. I mean, you've got people paying $80,000 a year in property. Are you
real
out
estate
of your
taxes? Yeah.
Real estate taxes. Are you out of your mind? And you know what happens is you erode the guy who's not a trust fund billionaire, because the trust fund billionaires pay no other taxes. They only pay those taxes, which is why they don't give a rip, because they're on dividends and kickouts. But when you are working, you could be very good at your job, and very few people can afford that without it affecting them negatively. And then to get out of those estates, it's not what it was. It's not even close. So, to me, I want to fix it rather than say, oh, everything's going to be, but it doesn't appear on the horizon anybody else wants to fix it.
Can I just break it down into the simplest forms for your listeners who might not understand what we're talking about? You're in your own community, and you're living in single-family houses. What these rules mean is any schmuck could come in and buy the single-family house next to you and put up a 6-unit building.
Bingo.
Okay, that I'm going to break it down as simple as possible. Anybody could come in on a single-family house. Okay, so if you're selling a house for $500,000, okay, and a developer comes in and offers $550,000 and you're selling it, what are you going to do? You're taking the $550,000. What's that developer going to do, Shaun? He's going to sixplex it, right? Exactly. He's going to put up 3 units. He's going to put up 200. He's going to put up 3 stories, 1 each story. He's going to sell each one of them off for 250 to 300 G's. Do the freaking math.
And it's more diabolical because he'll do that with grants and sweetheart loans. That's the other thing. He's not doing it the way regular developers do it, because they're incentivized now to spread the cancer of nobody paying their rent, nobody paying their mortgage, people getting, and at the same time, Pritzker somehow magically gets, $70,000 for a couple for down payment assistance. All you're doing is destroying the people who are not on the plan. That's all you're doing.
Right. And so what does that do? Okay, so that takes your nice community where homes are going for $300,000 to $500,000. Now they're selling.
What, did we lose you? Hold on.
Right?
Yeah, the phone broke up. You got a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Cream cheese.
Sorry. So,
don't worry.
So it's not cream cheese. It's you're such a. So they like a $300,000 to $500,000 single family house, which is just a regular normal house, Shaun. It's nothing special. That's what houses are going for. Okay, they're going to drop your single family house. Okay, on your 110 by 80 if you're lucky. Right? Or maybe 110 by 50 and pop up a 6-unit building there with no parking because in the new guides, you don't need parking anymore. You'll park on the street. Okay? It's so ridiculous. It's like beyond stupid. Okay? And the only people that think it's great are the affordable housing people, right? And government officials who don't do what we do and understand we move into a single-family neighborhood because we want single-family house. Right, with space in a backyard, we don't want to have six units going up or 5 units going up. It's ridiculous.
But if you just step back and you look at the difference in how things have changed, the mores of the society, where what government was supposed to do was take people who were moving from those very same areas trying to get out and go out to the suburbs and have these little houses with the white picket fences. Now you destroy it. So you know who it'll benefit, though, David? I'm going to tell you right now, it'll benefit the guys in Elmwood Park, my buddies. Because they're not going to do it. Elmwood Park is definitely not going to do it. So now you've taken the area that was okay. It's a great area. It's still well run to a certain extent, and you've given them the exclusivity of single family homes. So they don't even understand the ramifications. All you're going to do is destroy Oak Park values, and you'll strengthen Elmwood Park and maybe even River Forest. But River Forest won't be long. They hate money in themselves anyway. So it's interesting to see what's happening, and it can all be corrected if David Hochberg would just run, Forrest. Run. I'm dead serious. You should be the guy running. You absolutely should. You're one of the few people who have helped people achieve dreams. You also understand the principles of what makes real estate valuable and how to lower taxes. Because all the reasons I said to you early about Florida and the housing spikes that are happening, firming up of all of it, it's all attached to politicians fighting to lower property taxes. Well, in Illinois, they make excuses as if they're victims. I didn't raise my taxes. Pritzker never paid any taxes anyway. It's about what the goal is, the plausible deniability that these Democrats are taking as they pretend to run like me and you when they're not. So dust off the spikes and get in the game, Forrest.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I got you down for a $10,000 donation. So
I think that's illegal, but I will have to get my wife and somebody else, maybe a couple of kids, to do it. Don't worry, there are workarounds as I'm learning.
Yeah. Carlene's in for 5. Don't worry about it.
56david.com. You want to give out the number?
Yeah, 855-563-2843 or 855-56David or go to 56david.com is our website. And if you got any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. And real quick, can I just take a shot at Rocket Mortgage real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of your listeners calls me. He's got $120,000, 60 G's on car loans, and he's got $60,000 on SoFi and Best Egg loans, those consumer loans.
Yeah.
He's paying over two G's a month on the 60 on Best Egg and SoFi, and another $2,000 on his car loans. Okay. So then on top of that, Shaun, he's got 130 G's in credit card debt. Okay. Yeah. So this guy
got a stripper problem?
G's in debt.
What the hell's going on?
He's got kids and, he's got school and everything else. So the long and the short of it is, he calls up Rocket Mortgage because he woke up and fell out of his bed and hit his head on his credenza there, and calls him up and they quote him 12.15% with $3,600 in closing costs on a 20-year amortized loan. Okay, which is it's like giving you a suit for a tall guy, right? It's the wrong size. It doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
okay? I'm like, what are you doing? Right? So I connected him with Consumers Credit Union. He's taking out a HELOC. We're making absolutely no money on it, right? And he's saving like $1,000 to $1,500, not going into their 20-year fixed loan. $3,600 in closing costs at 12.15%. and then he's going to use the money that he's saving to pay off his credit cards faster. So if you want to get drilled by Rocket Mortgage, call him, please.
Well,
and then
the other thing you
afterwards.
the other thing you do that nobody else does is you let people understand the advantages of if you do have a 401k before you're 59 and a half. The tremendous benefit if you're 50,000 in debt, borrow the 50 dimes, which is the limit on your 401k, pay off the debt.
Yep.
Fix the debt at 6% versus 26%, increase your credit, and then you give them the loan at a much better rate. You were one of the only guys that even understood that, these morons that are out there selling money. So that's why I'm a big fan of David Hochberg. That and the fact you won't eat off my plate, which is a big benefit because you'll eat my fingers. And I love the fact that you still invite me every once in a while to watch the guys slap the puck around, which is the only sport I'll ever watch.
Hey, we got 88 back, baby. It's going to be fun again. You're
I already
welcome.
got. I know it's not me. It's the old lady. You know, call them up. I want to go to the game. I said, all right, I'll do it. So here we go. That's why you got on.
Me already when you're down in Florida. I already get that call. So don't worry. She's been to more games than
nothing
you know.
but the best thing you can do for my marriage is show up naked to my wife. It'd be the best thing to ever happen for me. So please do. Thank you very much, there, Snowman. I appreciate you making time. Have fun with your.
Hey, is coming up. Don't forget.
Sean and you're going to be there, right? Yeah. And by the way, I'm so glad you bought urologist dinner after the appointment, because if you did it before, it's called a date. Thank you very much. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-978-1515. That's 800-978-1515.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options. You can stay and fight, engage in local races, work to change things. Or you can vote with your feet. At leavingil.com, we help you build a smart exit plan so you know where to go, when to go, and how to do it right. Take our quick exit readiness assessment. Go to leavingil.com. That's leavingil.com. Or call 224-800-6979.
And did they hear me say it? This is our third year, and every year we've done it, it's better and better. It really is. And the nice thing is, When you register at 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest, we hit another level. They had to order more or make sure more food is available. There will be food available. There will be drinks available. We have to know how many people to tell them. We got to have places for you to stand and sit. The band is Jukebox Heroes. We've got all our vendors coming. The most important one will probably be Arlington Heights Pipe and Tobacco, as I'm having a hard time lighting the cigar right now with an old match. They'll be there. Our other vendors are going to be there. Hochberg's going to be there. We have E.J. Antoni going to be there. Everybody I interview will be there. Squirrel Hands will be there. Honey Bunny will be there. You'll need to know those names when you go on 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest. Shaun is spelled S-H-A-U-N, and that's all you have to do. Just register. There's no fee. It's absolutely free. We want to know who you are. We have to give everybody else who's coming a moron-free environment. We don't want any scumbags or scoundrels, no thieves, no Fauci acolytes, nobody who believed Joe Biden won the election. All of us, our little family, the decent, who are victims of an abusive government. And when you're in an area like that, I wanted to make sure, no cost, just get there. It's real simple. August 28th, Lakeside Pavilion at the Westin in Itasca, right off 355. There's many different ways to get there. And all you got to do is go to 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest. Sponsored in part by our great sponsors, Virago, leaving-i-l.com, State Farm Insurance Agent Anthony DeGrotto, Unique Wooden Flags, Class A Insurance owned by Tommy and TJ Iaquinta, and you. Make sure you're there, August 28th. See you there. When we get back, 312-642-5600. We'll take your calls and comments after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. We see clear skies and a low of 63 tonight in our QC Kinetics newsroom. Todd Blanche's nomination for U.S. Attorney General has hit a roadblock as Texas Senator John Cornyn is withholding support over a disputed Justice Department fund. The Chicago Public School budget is up for a vote today. The district says it will not be able to make payroll in September if the budget does not pass. Mayor Brandon Johnson is downplaying concerns about the sudden departure of the city's acting chief financial officer after only 8 months on the job.
The work doesn't stop because one individual moves on. People move on all the time, but here's the thing that's most steady. I'm still here.
And if you love cheesecake, today is the day for you. It is National Cheesecake Day, and Eli's is celebrating by handing out free slices across Chicago. The news a service of Staples. It's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy. Your next news update is at 7. And up next, a check of the evening commute in the traffic center with Jill Urchak.
On the outbound Edens, it is trouble-free. On the Kennedy, looks much better. 40 minutes downtown to the airport. Tighten the express. California to Keeler. Outbound Eisenhower, 55 minutes to 390 with a crash at Higgins. On the side, Stevenson 45 to South Lakeshore Drive out to 355. And the Dan Ryan is a half hour to get to 95th. Tighten those express as well, 43rd out to Marquette. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Those delays remain also on the tri-state either direction, while the Jane Addams still looks pretty good both east and west. The Reagan and 355, those remain sluggish. Westbound 8094 at Burr, an accident in the left lane. That slows down from the Indiana Toll Road. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 69. On Friday, expect sun followed by clouds with periods of rain and a thunderstorm late in the afternoon. The high will reach 82 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
For over 40 years, the Heartland Institute has stood for the ideas that built this country.
free markets, limited government, and individual freedom. Now you're invited to celebrate that legacy in person. Join Heartland on Thursday, September 3rd for their 42nd anniversary benefit dinner at the historic Palmer House Hilton in downtown Chicago, one of the city's most iconic addresses for over 150 years. This year's keynote speaker is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who has led Florida through 2 terms of record economic growth, making it one of the fastest growing states in the nation. The evening kicks off with a reception at 5, dinner at 6, an evening of great company, great conversation, and a shared belief in the principles that made America exceptional. Seats are limited, and they will go fast. Reserve yours today at benefit.heartland.org. That's benefit.heartland.org. The Heartland Institute's 42nd Anniversary Benefit Dinner, September 3rd, Palmer House Hilton, Chicago. Don't just believe in freedom, celebrate it.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
If you're looking to purchase a loved one's home after they passed away, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Pam wanted to purchase her grandmother's $400,000 home after she passed away, which was left to Pam's father, Ted, and her Aunt Betty. Ted listens to my show and wanted to forego his half of the equity of his mom's home and sell Pam the home for $200,000. Bad move. I recommended Pam purchase the home for $400,000 and get a gift of equity from her father, Ted, for $200,000, which enabled Pam to purchase the home with a lower rate and no money out of her pocket. Let's review. I helped Pam purchase her grandmother's home without having to bring a penny to the closing and secure a lower rate. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling a collection or just the high-end antiques? Get top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Now, you know I got a soft spot for that. But that's nowhere as good as...
Where in the world is
Darren Bailey?
Show me a sign, give me a clue. Drop me a hint and tell me something new. It's a global mystery. You've got to watch and see. Where in the world is
Darren Bailey?
Darren Bailey. Where are you, Darren? Big dummy. Tell you what, I don't know what's worse, the never-Trumpers nationally or the ones locally.
A vote tomorrow to advance President Trump's nominee for Attorney General has been called off as the senior senator from Texas refuses to vote yes.
773-572-3337 is his Houston office. Ask him why. Why? Hey, Cornyn. 713-572-3337 is his office in Houston. If you want to call Washington, D.C., where nobody ever is, 202-224-3121. And then ask about the SAVE Act. Why do you like illegals? Why do you like elections that are stolen? Oh, John! Big dummy. Tom, Blue Island.
Well, Shaun, thanks for that lead-in and dittos. For years, it's almost 10 years now, we've heard how stupid Trump supporters are and how we're mindless rubes. And the most wonderful thing about a guy like John Cornyn or Bill Cassidy or Tom Tillis is so here's Cornyn proving that Trump supporters and Texas voters were 100% right to kick his crooked ass out, because if he had got the nomination over Paxton, he'd be kissing the big Trump ass right now. But he got thrown out, and so this is how he reacts.
Well,
Good.
he'd be like Murkowski and Collins. He was always an obstructionist, and the reason is his support for Ukraine. Which if a politician supported Ukraine, they got their beak wet. There's no doubt in my mind, no doubt.
Here are the undeniable facts. There are 25 to 30 U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine.
Yeah, and aside from that, you covered up the Biden crime syndicate. You covered it up, and you knew you did.
Convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they did.
Who was looking into why anybody would put your crackhead, whoremongering, degenerate pig son on the board of an energy company in Ukraine. Scumbags. Terry, Shirakistan.
Hey, Shaun, I remember when they used to call Chicago like the bungalow belt, and those houses provided stability. But you look at the St. Louis, their projects, they tear them down. You look at Cabrini Green, you look at Robert Taylor, anything over a 3-unit housing has a whole bunch of problems, and you can't isolate it. Just go back to just bungalow belts. That's the solution to your social problems.
Well, you have to, I understand, but you're doing that thing where you're trying to solve the problem. It's not the problem they're trying to solve. It's the information of the destruction of life in the ghetto. For instance, if you put somebody in Oak Park, all the shootings and the mayhem and the robberies and the carjackings, it doesn't go on the statistics of Chicago, which so far this year you have 1,109 people shot. So if you just get shot in Oak Park, it's not on the list. You see, you got to think like a scumbag criminal. You got to learn how to speak Democrat mafia language short in the pants. I thought you would have. You've been there a long time now. Greg LaGrange.
How you doing, Shaun?
Good, babe.
I always love the Bork interviews because the guy is so good.
He's wicked smart.
I have absolutely no tolerance for government getting involved in any kind of government involvement with a company because they're not a common shareholder. Their weight skews everything and biases everything in the company because the government is that major 800-pound gorilla shareholder.
And it destroys the principle of antitrust. This is the thing you got to remember about Bert. His specialty is arguing the principal point of why you told us you needed the power to break up companies called antitrust. Well, now when you own the company, you're not going to break it up. You're a vested interest in it.
No.
So it's funny to watch them pivot on the reality. It's a jujitsu of capitalism versus the true definition of socialism. That's socialism.
Here's the thing that gets you. Who announces this kind of stuff? Who says this is going forward? The Department of Commerce. Commerce doesn't even exist. That department doesn't even exist.
Well,
so you have one bureaucracy basically making an announcement for another bureaucracy saying we're going to take over these companies, we're going to make them right, and then we're going to step away. When does government step away from anything?
And you have
step in it. They don't step away.
You have to also realize how it destroys any form of competition. Why would somebody open a company to compete with it? And then people will point. Now, listen, to the defense of the people who say, well, it's not that bad. South Dakota, Wyoming, whatever, these very sparsely populated communities. Well, they have sovereign wealth funds, but that operates differently. They're vested and they're not vested. They have common shares. They have no position on the boards, and I still don't like it, by the way. But what it does is it hides the fact that they also refuse to sell the land and let it be developed by us, the people, which is how you keep a country this big. Only 6% developed when you have thousands of ghost towns, communities that were entirely built up and abandoned because of bad policy. So it's really interesting to watch the juxtaposition of what a capitalist society, what a citizen republic is. And you slowly erode it, and people start to champion it who call themselves conservative and capitalists. They start to sound a lot like socialists.
Can I get one last thing?
Shoot.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Yesterday, all the Republicans in Senate they're all unified against Dr. Fauci. I get it. Josh Hawley makes this grandiose speech about all this kind of stuff, you know, about the abuses of what he did and what he didn't do and all the kind of things and the enrichment that's going on. You know, where are these guys on the SAVE Act? Why don't they have the guts to challenge their own internal leadership like they did Fauci? I'm not drawing an equivalence here. What I'm saying is these guys got to get on the ball because if you want to keep a republic, you better make sure the republics run straight.
Well, first you must
hamstring.
First, you must hamstring yourself by nullifying the principle of what the Senate and a republic is. Why in the world do they arbitrarily need 60 votes when Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, anytime they need a vote, they get rid of it? They get rid of the filibuster. There's no filibuster whenever they want it to be. So they can do it, but we got to play by the rules. That's why Marcus, a Queensberry champion, will always lose to a guy from Melrose Park. Thank you very much. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Some places just become part of the community. Shannon's Deli is one of those places. For over 25 years, this woman-owned downtown Lombard favorite has been serving fresh, made-to-order sandwiches, homemade soups, signature salads, and some of the friendliest service you'll find anywhere. It's the kind of place where customers become regulars, and regulars become friends. Whether you're grabbing lunch, meeting coworkers, or picking up catering for the office, you'll taste the difference that comes from quality ingredients and genuine hospitality. Shannon's Deli is just 35 feet from the Metro train station. Then, when the sun goes down, head over to Shannon's Irish Pub in Glen Ellen for great food, your favorite drink, live entertainment, and the warm Irish hospitality you've come to expect from the Shannon's family. Shannon's Irish Pub is just 2 blocks from the Metro station. Visit shannonsdeli.net and shannonsirishpub.info.
Honey, I can't deal with this kitchen anymore. It's cramped and everything is outdated.
I know, but it makes no sense to move. I could call my contractor buddy Chad.
Babe, you've seen Chad's house, right?
Yeah, good point.
Plus, he showed up late for his own wedding. Let's get someone who's reliable.
How about Forever Remodeling? They have a team of interior designers, master installers, and project managers all under one roof.
Their reviews on Google look amazing, and homeowners post a ton of pictures of their work.
It looks like they even offer 3D rendering of their projects.
Just like my TV design shows.
Exactly.
Plus, AM 560 listeners get a free in-home design consultation.
From kitchens to bathrooms, basements to whole homes, the design build team at Forever Remodeling takes the stress out of remodeling. They're done on time and guaranteed to match your vision. Visit them online at foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com. Forever Remodeling, stress-free and high-quality remodeling.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
AM 560, The Answer.
Principles are expensive, boy. You ain't gonna make no friends. I personally like it that way. I'm a terrible slave, and I will never go along to get along. And it's interesting, Squirrel was telling me about this lovely lady on Facebook. Her family wouldn't talk to her because of the vaccine. That's amazing, isn't it? The people who claim to be so worried about your health, they don't want you to have your own decisions. That's called fascism and the Fourth Reich. Now you're going to hear it's socialism and you're going to hear all this. But look at how easy they were. And when I say they, the people to put that in their body. Look at how easy we just took it. But not everybody. There are millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of us. You just feel like there aren't. That's why when we talk about politicians, this to me is the litmus test. Where were you on the vaccine? Where were you on the election? Where were you on the 5 years Americans suffered in a representative republic? Only a handful of elected politicians. Ron Johnson, great man. And Rand Paul. And a couple others. But the reality is, they all should have been doing this. This idea that we tolerate it, talk out against it. I don't give a rip what it costs. Because people died so that you didn't have to be forced to do anything. And if it's in your own family, listen, I get it. You know what? They did you a favor. You don't want them around anyway. Roberto, Bloomingdale.
Hey, Shaun, how you doing today?
Good. Aggravated, but good.
No, you hang in there, my friend. Hang in there. You know, first of all, that was a nice interview with David Hochberg. I like this guy, you know. But the reason go ahead. I'm sorry.
David Hochberg is one of the few people, and I'm in the business, that will tell you when he doesn't make money what you do. That's a rare quality. People don't like people who are successful, so they'll always take a shot. There's a reason he's successful. He's one of those few Americans, few guys who earned his money even though it cost the money to give the right advice. I like those guys, but go ahead.
Yeah, like Dave Ramsey. He's like that, too. But anyway, the reason I was calling Saturday, I was listening, Mrs. Robert and I were listening to 560, and they had the 7 o'clock show on Saturday, and Darren Bailey was on there. And I got on there, and we managed to ask him the question, if President Trump were to give you the endorsement, would you take it? And he was hee-hawing around like he didn't want President Trump's endorsement. This guy needs all the help he can get. Like, come on, don't be stupid.
Well, he doesn't. Well, there's two things. Number one, he doesn't need it. He secured the nomination without ever debating any of the other candidates. Think about that. He never showed it anything, never said a word. Just got it because he had the money left over and the clout left over. So to me, that's indication number one. And number two, the reason politicians do not answer is because they are cowards. They are cowards. They are simpletons. Reciting talking points. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. He never did. He's got a plan. I believe it's a blueprint. Oh, what is it? Weren't you in politics since you had long hair? What is it, Yogi?
I'm excited to announce that our campaign is releasing the blueprint for Illinois. Wow. It's a serious policy plan, a roadmap for how state government should work for the people again. Illinois is a great state because of its people. But right now,
it's a kleptocracy because of its politicians. It's a kleptocracy from the politicians that lined up the quick loans, that bought the shutdown, said nothing during the shutdown. Where's the PPP loans? It's a great state because of people always, and it takes crooked politicians to destroy the state. Step and fetch. You wanted the close parking space, right? How long were you in government? Get the frack out of here. I'll tell you what, if that ain't a sell indicator, I don't know what is. Squirrel! How many hours till we get back? 21. What am I going to do till 21? 21, we'll be back.
Now that summer